See something real quick. I want to make sure I say that. Hey. I don't know what you heard about me. Can't get another out of me. What you heard about me? Mm-hmm. Had to do a quick little refresh, Quick little refresh. I got about an hour, maybe two for y'all. Maybe two. Another hour for y'all. Hour and a half. Get this party started. So I'm glad. I hope y'all. Good one. Good one. Good one, King. Good looks, man. He got me. So hope y'all enjoyed, seeing T Chantel in the building. She is a celebrity. She call herself a D-list, but she's a celebrity though. I have to, y'all see she funny and stuff. She a comedian. Yep. She like, she like, dang. She said the different. She not agreeing with me now. I don't want to be friends with her. So no, I'm talking junk. That's funny. I was talking junk though. Welcome back, Lion in the building. King and all y'all, man. If y'all want to hop in the box real quick, give me about 5 minutes and I'll be right. I'll be back. I got to do something real quick. Give me but if somebody want to hop in the box, entertain these 16 people that's in the building, you know what I'm saying, for a little quick second. Y'all can come up here before I leave. Anybody? Anybody? Okay, we gotta take it. No, I don't. I gotta do some stuff. I got these puppies I gotta put up real quick. Puppies and there's a few things I gotta. It was something else I had to do. Don't tell on me. It's human like. You know what I'm saying? Well, Virgos don't supposed to ish. Virgos don't take a ish. Oh man. My boy King in the middle. What you up with you? You doing your thing, man. All right, y'all scared of the box. All right. So I'll be right back. Give me a minute. And I'll be back. Right. Proposal. Okay, for sure, for sure. Mm-hmm. There's not button. What is that? There is not button. Oh, what to join? What you talking about? What you talking about? That's a button up here. Yeah. Or let me see. What? Interact. Live. I got a button. That's weird. See, I'm about to see myself in front of myself. See, it's me. It's me. Oop, oop, oop.
What up, dude?
I would have thought he was in jail. What is that? Yo, man. There you go. There we go,
No, I'm
man.
not in jail. Hobo, I'm about to put you in jail. I'm about to report you.
Right.
You left me hanging. I'm about to report you.
Ooh, not lying, making somebody leaving them hanging around here.
Uh, yep, I'm gonna report your whole profile.
She try to run. No, ain't no running now. We ain't
Hey,
going no.
I ain't reporting you, nobody lie. I'm reporting their profile.
Hold up, y'all. Give me. Oh, hold up. Okay, let me let Lion up real quick. Leon, you trying to come up too? Give me a. Cause I ain't gonna be able to let nobody else when I leave for a second.
What did I do?
You
Okay,
asked
all
me
right,
for
for
my
sure. I'll be
time.
right back, y'all.
You asked for my time. I blocked it out and I ain't heard nothing from you.
You didn't tell me when.
Huh?
You didn't tell me when. I asked and you never responded. And I was like,
You,
okay, well, I guess he got me.
you asked for extension of the time. You said a different time. I waited. I ain't nothing from you. I'm reporting your profile.
Man,
You going to
oh,
jail.
business owner, man, he forgot to confirm. Business owner forgot to confirm.
You going to jail. Tell midnight he gonna have to keep the baby for at least 5 days because you going to jail.
5 days? Nah, I can't do that. I can't do 5 days.
I said, wait till I see it. Yes, indeed. How's that baby doing for y'all?
Oh God, it's been rough. She we got her at daycare. I want to say like a month and a half, 2 months ago. When I tell you, out of that whole time, she has been not sick for maybe like 5 days total. It's just been back to
Oh
back to
yeah,
back to
if you
back.
want your baby sick, you just put them in daycare. They gonna get sick in a short period of time. This daycare's one
It
thing daycare's got down pat is passing on germs and bacteria to children.
really is disgusting. It makes me feel gross. Now she done got me sick, and I'm like, I don't like this. I don't want to do this. This isn't fun for me.
Right. My wife and I talk about that. I remember well, our second baby, we were like, well, no, we ain't going to daycare. Stay home. I'm gonna go make the money. You good? Um, but my wife is a teacher, so between a daycare and a school, they stay sick. There's always somebody sick. When one got sick, they passed it on to the next one. My son had COVID, and he a teenager. COVID 3 times while when school opened. It's like, ooh, y'all sick. I got a hell
That's
of an immune system, so I'm
terrible.
lucky.
I wanted to. I said I was gonna stay home, but not having anybody do that for a 1 year old, it's not the fun. It's not the funnest thing in the world.
Not at all. Not at all. It can be rough. Like to say the challenges you have to go through to get to.
Yeah. Can y'all go have another one?
Girl, I done tied my tools. I ain't have no more babies. Oh no. I look, let me say that I'm tied and tested. I went back and said, y'all check it out, see if it got something in it that could bring life. It say you got zero
There you
percent.
go.
Oh, because people do that. My doctor told me when I went there to do the assessment, he said, guys come in there, they get themselves, snipped, and then they don't come back for the test. And then here it is, a couple years
Hmm.
later, he done got his wife pregnant. Like, what happened? He said, you didn't come back to confirm that everything was set in place. Shoot. I went back and confirmed.
You supposed to. Thank you.
So,
Tell
but you be
more of the
men,
men.
men,
You supposed to go get
men
that
are
check.
prideful. Men do some dumb ish. They get out there and they got their ego. When I'm in the presence of an expert that do something I don't do, I'm following their advice. That doctor said
Absolutely.
get tested, get checked. I came right. I said, can we schedule my appointment now? Mm-hmm. The day that came up, my notification came up. I ran to that clinic at 8:30 in the morning. I gave him the sample. Here's the sample. You got to take the sample a couple of hours before. Here's the sample. Here you go. It called back the next week. Hey, you're clear. Good. Now I ain't got to worry about nothing. So there's a baby that pops up in my life. Let me tell you this. It's immaculate conception or somebody else's conception. That ain't
Word.
my conception.
We've been thinking about it, but they got this new thing. It's not tested yet. It's still like I think they just finished the Kickstarter for it, so it's still got to go through the FCC and all that. But I think it's radio waves. It's some kind of waves, but it's like a little
Yeah,
machine, and you sit your testes in it once every 3 months, and it's supposed to take care of it.
yeah. I'm an advocate. So you ask me, I'm 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 toughest on men. Because women's bodies are magical at the same time. For me, you go over there and a woman has to go on the radio activity. She got to get cut open. She got to take pills. All this chemical and unnatural reaction. For her, it risks so much because y'all internal organs are so much different than ours. Y'all complicated and magical at the same time. And I was like, well, I went in the office for 30, in and out 30 minutes. Minimum exposure. And when I look at the risks, like it was better for me to take the risk than for her to take the risk. And that's why I made the decision. It's like, women keep on absorbing the responsibility of reproduction and lack of or not doing it. I'm at the age now where I got this, baby. Sit back and enjoy yourself. I'm gonna cover this. Y'all, you got too much risk. They gonna mess around and cut you open. And infection is a big issue. Anesthesia is a big issue. I got local anesthesia and I got a value. Shoot, I felt good that day.
I don't. So like my chemical makeup seems to be incorrect for like medications. Like I don't have the proper reactions to meds. So like when I was having the baby, I was having panic attacks because a lot of things was happening at one time and nothing was going as planned and there was a whole lot going on, but that's not the point. The point
Right.
is they gave me a Valium to get me to calm down. And I woke up 3 hours later and my baby was in a box next to me and I was like, huh, I don't think those are supposed to put me to sleep. I don't think that's how this needs to
Right.
go.
They relax. They said don't relax. They just put out. Yeah. But some people have different metabolism. Like I have a unique metabolism. I discovered that years ago. When I take any medicines, I'm at max dose. I had two values. I had to take one an hour before I got there and one when I got there. Um, when I got my wisdom teeth pulled out, the doctor had to stick me double what he normally does. I have a really high burning metabolism, so high that even um, in the consumption of THC, I don't get high. So and I found out from a doctor, your metabolism burns very, very high through chemicals, which is why I stay away from harsh chemicals because in order to get the effect other people have, I would have to go to the next level, and that's not good. So I have a tendency of just saying, hey, look, one thing that I know is I like sipping my little drink and then chilling. That's it.
Sure, you stay sipping too.
Hmm.
So you stay sipping. Anytime I see you on cam, you got that little cup in your hand.
Oh yeah, I'm always sipping on something. Always. I like my wine, which is relaxing, helps my blood pressure, and then whatever else I'm sipping on.
One of these days, I'm gonna get you one of them like personalized bottles of Woodford. But them things is expensive and I'm broke, so it's gonna be a hot minute.
Hey,
So don't
girl,
hold your breath for it. But it's
j-
gonna come
just
one day.
just the fact you thinking I'm gonna send blessings your way to make that happen.
Oh, I don't want to be sick anymore. Can't fix it. I sound stupid. I don't. This is the dumbest one. Like somebody is scrolling through this room and be like, "Dang, that girl's voice is terrible." Like it's not. I have a really cute voice. I promise. It's just right now it's bad.
It's all
Oh,
good. It's all good. You gonna be all right. Like they say, this too shall pass.
that's what they say. But you know, you say you in Lafayette, right?
Yeah, I'm in Lafayette, Louisiana. For now, my son graduated. I'm moving to. I hate Louisiana with a passion.
Since when you hate Louisiana?
Been long time. I did not want to come here. I came back here on the backside of a medical discharge out of the army and a divorce. and kind of got
Oh,
grounded here. Don't get me wrong. There's things about Louisiana I absolutely love. We have some things that you can't find anywhere else.
it's true.
But when it comes to development, my whole kick is business, family, education, and you'll hear people say, "Well, it's what you make out of where you go." That's not the truth. The fact is, yeah, it is what you make out of it. But if I gave you three plots of land, one that is very fertile, one that's okay fertile, one that you're gonna have to dig out rocks, sticks, and trash and clean up the land and do all that work to make it fertile, you would never put your last in that land. Louisiana
Hmm.
is that's rocks, sticks, and trash. You have to dig. You have to work harder than in a fertile place. So I was raised here, so I know how hard it could be. Can you be successful? Absolutely. But you know how much work you got to do to be successful compared to other places.
Yeah, that's a
So like
lot.
me, I grew my business here because here's what I know to be fact. Doing this here and being successful, there ain't a state I can't go to and make it even bigger easily. And most of my clients that deal with me, they always tell me, "You bigger than Louisiana, dude. Your mentality, you need to be in some bigger cities." And I'm good because this is my proving ground. This is where I know I took people who are very resistant, that are embrace ignorance. Let me call it that, right? Which means that they hear the truth, they know it, but they'd rather just stick to tradition. And I'm working with them, having to hone in my social skills to get them to understand and get some leverage. And it takes a lot of work. In Louisiana, is conversation, coffee, then is commercial.
Hmm.
In other cities, it's commercial, then it's coffee, then it's conversation. These people are very emotionally driven, so it makes it hard to do business. You can't get to the business, whereas in other places you get to the business in 30 minutes to an hour. Here, you can get to the business in 30 days to a month to 2 months because they want to get to know you, who's your people, and that's all cool in the social scene. But when it comes to business, it slows everything down
Yeah,
drastically.
I can see that.
So I'm just doing that because when I get to a bigger city that has a different level of intelligence as far as business, then I'm going to hit the ground running. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Matter of fact, I started my business by doing business with people outside of the state. They caught on, and the people in the state caught on that I was here, and then they started doing business with me. That's how backwards it was.
That sounds about right, though.
Hmm.
Nobody want to be left out. They're like, oh, wait, you got something? Let me see.
Yeah. And I don't subscribe around here. It's cliquish. I don't subscribe to circles. So I like the liberty of being able to walk in any circle, not just a circle. So on one side, I'm a board member with our Black Chamber of Commerce in my city. The other side, in my city, I'm part of what's called the All Center, which is like a business district. That's like the old money of Lafayette. These people grew up, was raised here, solid businesses. They control the politics, and I'm a board member on their board. I'm the only black board member. So I like walking in whatever circle I feel like walking in, and I get the privilege of being myself. I don't have to change in none of those circles.
I like that. So where you thinking about going to?
I don't know. Here's what I'm not going. I'm not going to I'm not going to Black Man Mecca Land. I'm not doing that. So Black Man Mecca Land is I'm going to Atlanta. Look, Atlanta is
Oh,
jam
yeah,
packed.
nah,
Let the people in the
nah.
ATL that's getting it, I commend them. Do your thing, brothers and sisters. Get it. I'm not going to Houston because they jam packed too. Because here's the
Hmm.
progress route. I lived in Texas for 7 years, so I know the progressive route. You leave here, you go to Houston. You get tired of Houston, you move to Austin. Get tired of Austin, you move to Dallas. And after that, then what? So it's a trail. It's like the Oregon Trail of black folks when it comes to those cities. And I'm not knocking those cities or those movements, but I am trying to create a new route for myself. And I'm going to look at number one at the top of my list is because my family, we value the education of our daughters. I'm going to find a state that has parallel views of education that I want for my daughters. That's number one on the list.
Yeah,
Number
because I
two,
think Louisiana is like bottom. I think it's bottom
for
15 for
40, no,
education.
40, we're always hovering bottom two, 49 or 50 in
Yeah,
education.
yeah, it's
So,
bad.
so it's very bad, right? Infrastructure and economic development, we're always at the bottom five. So understand to get where I'm at, how hard I literally have to work to get traction, right? Um, So I'm looking at states that are fertile for education because I'm building everything for legacy. So my daughters have to be in an environment that's going to let them embrace what I've done. Number two, I am looking for a place that is fertile for my business model. What I do. Some states are more friendly for me. Like for example, Louisiana years back, this was oil country. So if you had a business that supported the oil industry, you were good. You came with a tech industry, good luck with that. It's evolving, but
Yeah.
it's taking a long time. It's heavily it's more medical now in Louisiana. Why? Because we feed everybody, make them obese, and then we got to fix their heart. I live in a small city of roughly about what 200,000 people at the most, and we have 3 heart hospitals in my city.
Goodness.
Okay, so you feel that, right? So remember this: where I live, visit, don't live there. It'll kill you, literally. I'm
I've
sorry, it'll
never
unalive
been.
you. It's a beautiful, it's Lafayette is a place that's good to visit and retire in once you've done what you want to do. Because the people are
Okay.
very friendly, cordial. They're more sociable. Everybody, want to go. I mean, tons of restaurants to go eat out. There's a festival for everything. There's a festival for rice, crawfish, boudin, you name it, yams. There's a festival always going on. So, and it's one of the few places you can actually go to a place called a daiquiri spot and get a damn daiquiri in a drive-through and then drive through your city. So, yeah, when you
Oh,
retire,
that's the thing I miss. I miss Louisiana for that. You could just get a to-go drink and just go
yeah,
home. Like it.
right. It's like that. So that's all cool. But when you're trying to build family and structure and break generational curses, it's going to give you a lot of pushback. So at my age, I want to be in a place that embraces the innovation and creativity and technology and business owners. So I'm looking at that, and it may be an unconventional place, something I'm going to have to get used to. I'm not looking for something that I like. I'm looking for something that will foster the environment that I want for my family. Like for example, would I ever move to Wyoming? I don't know. Well, you know the thing about it that's attractive. Wyoming actually has no corporate tax on businesses, and I'm a corporation.
Mm.
So, yeah, that might be considered. I never thought I'd say Wyoming, but because it would foster the right environment for me to grow this business that I want to give to my kids one day, or leave so it can produce income for my kids, it's on the list.
Hey,
So
I
I,
mean,
I
I would like to point out though that Wyoming has all of maybe 12 black folks in it. So just
that you know
keep
what,
that in
and
mind. You're gonna be dang near doubling the population of black people if you move your
right,
family there. So
that
it may be a little scary.
and that's what I want, uncharted territory. I was in the military, so I'm familiar with being. I mean, like I said, one board, I'm the only, but I fare well in diverse areas, in places that's been uncharted, because I understand how to read um, the do's and don'ts, and not sacrifice myself, but demand the respect based because of what I bring to the table. So being in the military has given me that exposure to different groups of people. So I'm not intimidated about. Now, don't get me wrong. Let me not say I'm not intimidated. Ain't no way in hell I'm moving to, let's see, Missouri. Ain't no way in hell I'm moving to Mississippi. Matter of fact, any state that starts with an M, I'm probably not moving to. At the end of the day, I'm just not gonna do it. Matter of fact, I ain't moving to Florida. I ain't moving nowhere where they still
Nah,
don't condone or come down openly against stuff that hurts people that look like me. I'm just not gonna do it.
yeah.
Now, for those that are kind of quiet and maneuvering themselves, you know one thing they don't turn away? Money opportunities. If I'm a productive citizen and I make money, you never got no problem with them.
You looked into Oregon?
Hey, if Oregon got the right conditions, shoot.
Well,
Because
I mean,
look,
like their education is amazing. There's money to be made there. Most of the tech industries are they're headquartered up in Oregon, but they're also going through their apologetics phase.
yeah,
So there's a lot more opportunity for people of color because they feel guilty up there. So
right. You heard what you
it's
said?
workable.
Opportunity. I am a businessman, full time businessman. So I have to see if the opportunities match what I'm trying to do in my business. And the place that offers that opportunity, now it's twofold, it's difficult. Opportunity for my business and for my daughter's education.
Hmm.
If they can give me that, and here's what people don't know, right? If you find a place that has a good public education system, you know what it does to your income? It reduces the need to have to get additional income to put your kids in private school where the best education is. So And it's going to cost you one way or another. Like we consider moving to a neighborhood that had access to an A-rated school, the rent was going to go up. But what's the difference? If I go pay for a private education, I'm going to pay that much anyway. So just pay
Yeah,
more on the rent to live in a neighborhood and have access to a public school that gives private education. The numbers go numbers regardless of what we feel. So me like, why are you paying $2,500 to live over there? Because the difference between what I'm paying now and over there is the difference of private education. That's the only difference. It's the same money. I'm a salesperson. Math is the math. What's the bottom line at the end of the day? How much am I spending overall? That's all I care about.
oh, can I have like a weird, honest moment with you for a second?
Mm-hmm. You know
So
me
I found
anytime.
out that I am not a salesperson. I found that out about myself in the last 6 months.
That's good
I,
to know about yourself.
it is, but I always thought that I was, and then I started doing it, and I was like, "What y'all are asking me to do, I literally feel uncomfortable. Like trying to like hound people and find them and get them to listen to me. Like I do not enjoy this
Right.
at all."
Look, it's uncomfortable. I met many people when I was a sales trainer, and I had to assess their personalities. And the truth is what you just said. Some people not built for it, right? They're just it's not their thing. Some people are better greet you up front, or take care of you on the backside. But the sales is about conflict, right? Mental conflict, emotional conflict. And if you don't really like conflict, you won't like sales because every sales opportunity that's going to yield a result is going to bring forth some kind of conflict.
Yeah,
I do
for me,
sales training.
that wasn't the problem. It was more of like just I felt like I was trying to convince people that I was worth something, and I think like that just triggered something in me
That's
that's made me spiral into a
my
depression.
friend.
And I was like, it's not a safe place for me to be at, you know?
My friend, that's conflict.
I mean,
Yeah.
but like the actual conflict is fine. Like if they're like, well, what about this? What about that? I'm like, cool, cool, cool. I can run all of those scenarios with you. We can do this all day. But like
Uh-huh.
the getting to that part is just, ugh,
Yeah.
it
And
wasn't for me, man.
look, let me tell you this about sales. Most people end up in a sales job with no sales training. And most of the people that's going to train you don't have the time to really spend time with you to help break down the anatomy of a sale, right? And I've had clients that have booked me and booked several sessions, and I'm breaking down the sales anatomy to them to make them comfortable. Because if you know what to expect, you can adjust yourself. But when you throw in there and you try to figure it out, oh, look, my friend said, Lola said I was always giving this a right? Because most sales are trying to get you to sell on price, and you're always trying to negotiate that, right? They don't teach you the steps to sell. The first step in sales, let me ask you a question. Oh, but what's the first step in sales? And if you don't
Uh,
know, that's fine.
being cute.
See that? That's how I know you haven't had sales training. The first step in sales is building rapport. Now, here's the most important step, right? So, watch this. So, if the whole point of building rapport is actually getting to know the person, but it's actually asking them questions that reveal what their true intentions are. What most people don't teach you with sales is that the person asking the question is always in control of the conversation.
Yes.
What type of sales did you do?
Uh, so it was like I can't why can't I word it? It's like insurance but for like your employees.
Okay, cool. So employee insurance, and what did you like about employee insurance?
But I liked that it was really affordable and that it gave people who like didn't have benefits the ability to get benefits. I really like that
Right.
because most people don't see the need for it until they need it and then it's too late because you're already hurt.
Right. So what didn't you like about offering the insurance to people?
The amount of gas I had to spend.
Right. So let me ask you a question. If I had an insurance company, I wanted to sell insurance, but I was willing to pay for your gas, would you take the job?
With you, yes,
Okay, great. Now, pause, time out, watch what I just did. I did nothing but ask you questions, huh?
that's true. Yep.
And what I did is I discovered your real objection, didn't I?
Yeah, a little bit, kind of.
Then I offered a solution, right?
Uh-huh.
And if that solution was fitting to what your problem really was, you was willing to take the deal, it was you.
Yeah.
They don't train people how to do sales like that. That's where the problem is for most people to get into sales. Discovered the objection.
Okay.
Not until I can find out what the real issue is, can I offer you a solution that makes sense to you. And if it makes sense to you, then the next question you got to ask yourself, why would I commit to it if it makes sense? So then if you say, well, yeah, but, then I say, okay, hey, great. So yeah, but so what is the other thing that keeps you from wanting to take this position? Because it matches with exactly what you say you wanted. Now I'm forcing you to reveal the next objection that you might not be telling me if you're not totally. And all I did was ask questions.
You see, y'all, this is why you can't trust car salesmen. This is why, right here. Perfect example. You see
My
how
friend, this is sales 101. I've been a sales for business consulting firms, car, luxury clothing. It's the sales principles exist everywhere. You know what? When you watch TV, how you decide what show you're watching? Because of the sales. The commercial you're going to pay attention to the most is the one that starts off with a question. Lawyers have it down to an art. Have you contracted mesothelioma? And what do you do in your head? You answer that question. Hell no. And you change the channel. If your commercial came on tonight and says, if you just had a baby that's 1 year old that just will not sleep, you're going to be all ears.
probably.
And the more questions they ask, the more they get you nodding your head. We call that bobblehead. You start agreeing with me constantly. I ask a bunch of questions that relate to you. You sold already. I ain't got a lot of work to do in the back end. It's an art. It can be, some of those skills can be trained, but the person has to be willing to want to do that. Not everybody was wired to do that. Lola, yeah, look, right now I'm going through a process with my curriculum. I'm breaking down a lot of online group classes so I can reduce the price and start teaching people all these basic skills. Because, watch this. When the last time you were interviewed, Hobo?
Uh, Probably like 6 months ago.
6 months. Okay. They asked you a bunch of questions, right?
Yeah,
Was one of those questions at the end, do you have any questions?
it was. Yeah.
And what did you say?
I said yes, and I pulled out my list because I had a list of questions.
Wow. So you're telling me that you know how to take control of a conversation because the only thing that gave you control of the interview was your list of questions. Did you get hired?
Yeah, that's the only reason I got the job. Because I'm pretty
Uh,
sure I was one of the only ones who had questions, and they were good
your, Hon-
questions.
your Honor, rest my case. You sold yourself. That's what an interview is. Can
I
you
know,
sell
I'm
yourself?
telling you, I'm good at it. It was just the whole process of it that it wasn't nice for me. Like it was the
Yeah.
objective that they were trying to sell was
There
basically
you go.
just go
Right.
to the gatekeeper and just bother the gatekeeper long enough and then
Yeah,
they'll let you talk to the DM. And I was like, I don't
that's a
like that. Like,
that's an aggressive tactic, right? So here's the key to sales is never the problem. It's what you selling and the temperament of the company, right? Some companies have a very aggressive model that can make you uncomfortable. If that's
hmm
the issue, it's not sales. The issue is the model that you're in. Some people flourish well. You know those people that you talk to and they always cut you off and keep talking and don't hear you because they want to drive their point across?
yeah.
Those
There's a
people
lot of
work
those on
well in those
TikTok.
models. Yeah, they work well in those models because they don't give a damn what you say. They're gonna keep pressing, and
hmm
they're gonna get the results. Trust me, they're gonna overwhelm somebody and they're gonna just commit. I got the
Yeah.
car sales. I started working with this guy, and I remember I had a cubicle next to this guy. I was working at Nissan, and this dude would talk nonstop. And here's what we witnessed: he was talking to this couple, just saying just a lot of stuff. Right? He gets up to go to the sales desk. And the husband turned to the wife and said, "What just happened?" She said, "I don't know. I think we just bought a car." That was his temperament. But his personality was to overwhelm you by just constant talking, driving the point in. And I didn't adopt that model. I was more of the informer, educator when it comes. I wanted you to understand why you bought it so you had no buyer's remorse. So what I did is I educated you, found your objection, and took away every possible remorseful thing you could have in your mind whenever you bought that vehicle. And only to understand that if something didn't work out, it was not my fault, it was yours. I was careful and I built a client base and moved into luxury cars, and that client base followed me, and I had a very successful career. Roughly in what, 6 years of doing that, I probably made close to $500,000 in sales, in car sales. Um, and but let me just credit the dealership I was at. They spent time, money, and energy making sure you understood the basics of sales from a foundational perspective that was not relative to just cars, but to the sales process alone. And most companies do not do that. I worked for other companies and nobody offered a sales anatomy training, something that really broke sales down in a way that made sense to everyday life. Instead, they were just trying to get you to sell the car so you don't know what you're doing. You start negotiating price. And then once you negotiate price, you're in a pickle. And there's an art to it at the end of the day. And when you tossed
Yeah, I
out
wish
there,
more
you,
people did
you
it like
hate it.
you.
Huh?
I wish more people did it like you, but it's hard to find. Like, I don't like that aggressive style, and I don't feel like it does
Mm,
well on the back end either, because if
yeah.
you just talk somebody into buying something,
Yeah.
they could change their mind. Like, they could go home and be like, wait a minute, I didn't
Yes.
actually want to do this. I wasn't really comfortable with that. And
Right.
now that's coming out of your commission account. And
That's
so just to
facts. That's right. So
me,
that sales tactic you're talking about is based on the thought or theory that everybody you're talking to is ignorant. I don't like that. I approach sales from the aspect of I'm going to assume that these people are intelligent. I'm going to assume that they can Google whatever I say. I'm going to assume that maybe they've already had somebody present it to them. So I just have to make sense of what I'm presenting. Rule number one: I'm never comparing what I'm selling to my competitor. Never. You know why? Because if you bought something from my competitor first and came to me second, when I downgrade my competitor to get the sale, I'm subliminally telling you that you made a stupid decision. You don't know what you're doing.
Oh my.
So I always taught people never go against your competitor, present what you have, and let them make an informed decision.
absolutely.
And that's my thing. I don't care who else you bought it from. I don't care who's selling it. It's irrelevant. Here's what I have. Here's what I can do. And let's see if it solves your problem. And if it makes sense to you from the educational perspective and the financial perspective, why shouldn't we do business? It's to me it's that simple. But there's more people pushing the aggressive model than the progressive model. Progressive model is understanding that technology has empowered people. When I sold cars, here's what I remember. That guy right there, he's got a dad and a grandpa who's bought plenty of cars and already schooled him. What am I going to try to convince him on some stuff he's not going to be convinced on anyway?
Hmm.
I need him to tell me the real challenge. What's stopping it? You know what? First thing I know is this. If you showed up to me today, in today's era, you've done some research. You're here for a reason. It's just like trying to date, right? Women taught me this. I'm groomed by women. Women taught me this rule. When we allow a conversation to happen with a guy, we already like him. We're going to listen for the next 5 minutes to see a reason not to. He already won, but he don't know it. I'm listening for the dumb stuff he's about to say. And that's how ex-dudes are. It's the same thing as sales. They showed up. They took the time out of the day to show up where you're at. Pick up the phone and contact and have a conversation. They already believe they should buy from you. The only thing you can do is give them reason not to.
I agree. And I think that if that was the format, I probably would have done better. But it was like I was going to people who had no interest or no knowledge at all of my company or what we do, and like trying to
Facts.
show them that they want this. But like if they had come to me, then like it would have been so much easier. Life would have been so much better.
Yeah. And sell what you believe in. Like I started, what I did is I started with the Nissan family, And my temperament, my personality. Anybody that pays attention to me, look, I don't blow my money, but I just like nice stuff. I will save my money to get nice stuff. That's me. My mom told me I had expensive taste. So hey, Nissan's cool, but I moved to Infinity. I had a Mazda 3 that I bought from a drive time in Dallas, Plano, Texas, when I got there. And I learned the product and fell in love with the Infinity. The first opportunity I had, I bought an Infinity. Then I upgraded my Infinity. By the time I was done, I had an Infinity G35. I had a Q70 L long wheelbase edition. I had a Q60 Sport 6-speed manual. I had a freaking a Q60 SUV. So I was sold on the product so well that I bought it myself. So my conviction was very simple when I'm selling it. I'm always cautious of people who only have a product because it was given to them. Did you make a conscious decision to buy this because you believe in the product? So I tell people, when you go in the sales world, find something you believe in and that's what you should sell. If you don't believe in it, don't sell it. I am not the one to go and sell you a Volkswagen. Now, I worked at a Volkswagen dealership before, but guess what? Because I was a finance manager. So I'm selling you financial products, or basically, here called warranty, gap. They're all forms of insurance, is what they are. And I believe in insurance. So that was the easy thing for me to do. You already bought the car. That had nothing to do with me, but you need protection. You need financing. I believe in that. Using other people's money and protecting what you bought. So that's what I did. At the end of the day, it was a wealth strategy, so it's easy to me. But if they put me on the lot to sell the actual Volkswagen, we might struggle a little bit. I didn't do so well at Volvo. Nice car, great car. I didn't do so well with Subaru. I didn't relate to the Subaru. I understand it. It's not, I didn't relate. So if you're going to sell, find something you relate to. Something that's in your wheelhouse of interest, because you're going to be passionate. Because I'm going to give you the definition of sales that nobody tells you. The definition of sales is the transfer of enthusiasm. If you're not enthusiastic about it, you ain't gonna be good at selling. I'm off my soapbox.
So you
Don't
took
go
over
back
because
down.
you were going for the longest 5 minutes ever recorded in man history. So we
What?
talk about sales now.
What happened?
Kev went and fried a steak.
Nah, the job was bigger than I thought it was. That's what happened. I thought I was gonna be quick, but I had to help my dad with some stuff. So, I
Oh,
mean, that's
what?
what happened.
Tell me about the topic. King,
Lola's in
what is
here,
your sign?
mind blown. What happened?
I was asking King what his sign is.
I'm a Capricorn.
Are you? Okay, all right.
I was born the last day of the year, December 31st.
Can you say you was a horoscope person?
I'm an
That's
everything
what
person,
Lion?
Kev.
That's my lion.
I no, I like my horoscope. I'm not an astrologer, meaning I don't know what yours does. I don't know
Mm,
you. I know
you got
me though.
lucky. I was about to try to get you real quick. Like, how
Yeah,
you
no.
know? How you
See,
know?
To be honest, I don't think I think King may be the first
To
Capricorn
be
that I've
honest,
ever
I
like
don't think I
been in
think
close
King may be the
contact
first
with.
Capricorn. What the? I thought it was two lions in here. I'm like, I'm scared. I can't get questioned twice. No. Like, which one I gotta answer first? Somebody
oh
came
Lord.
up here with the phone. They answered that phone or something. That's what
Sorry, I stole your
Yeah,
mic, Lola.
yeah. I'm a knowledge enthusiast, respecter of cultures and perspectives, and I find a commonality between all of them, right? Now, here's what I don't do. I don't forge my life expectation off of the knowledge I've obtained by practical stuff like horoscopes. Me, because I study everything, there's a definitive pattern of behavior under the horoscopes that you see commonly with those people. But I don't read a horoscope from a predictive standpoint. It ain't gonna tell me what my day gonna be like. Nothing's gonna tell me my day gonna be like. No religion, no horoscope, no belief is gonna dictate my day. I control that. That's really spiritual dominance. Something that I teach some people, right? About being able to control the mind and the body and the spirit. by what you expect. When I wake up, if I say it's going to be a bad day, it's going to be a bad day. So if you read a horoscope and the horoscope is going to tell you how to feel, then you put yourself in a box and you're a victim now. Versus saying it's a generalization, right? Because people don't know the difference between stereotypes and generalization. Stereotype says it's always going to be this. Generalization said based on history, it could be, but it don't have to be. Probabilities of making this. I've never read my horoscope and walk through a day and say, "Oh, Mo, that's what I gotta expect." Okay, I'm expecting that.
Right.
No,
What about the traits
it's
though?
not the traits. Oh, I found the traits to be very active. I got two philosophies that I follow. One of them could be in the horoscope world, the other one is Caballerian and philosophies. And I've tested this on people and found the traits to be consistent. Now, there deviations? Absolutely. Everybody can't fall into that box. So I never deal with an absolute with people. But you'll
So,
find that people in certain horoscope traits, you'll see the same patterns of thinking within those people oftentimes.
so you don't think that everybody got uh similar traits no matter what the horoscope is?
We're, as a human being, we're going to all have similar, but there are segmented variations of people. There are variations to all of us.
You
Like,
sound like a
okay,
Virgo because somebody told me that Virgos are
No,
like,
he's a Capricorn. My mom's a Capricorn. Capricorns are very money. In a lack of better words, they're very smart with their money. They're very calculated when it comes to
I am too.
numbers and understanding how to break down. Now, I'm not saying all Capricorns are rich or broke
right.
or whatever, but they're really good with just managing, you know what I'm
What's
saying,
this
certain
here?
situations. And I'm not saying this to my mother because, whew,
Right.
we be hitting heads. But they're just very serious people, but they're very
Yep.
cool, calm people. Like some of the calmest people you meet. If you cross them, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. So
That's
yeah.
me.
And
That's
I
Sound
wasn't
like
against
me.
his
I
sign, but
might be
when you
that
start
sign
talking
too.
about money and talking about sales, like Capricorns and Virgos are like brothers or sisters or brother and sister. Y'all are very much alike.
And you look at the symbol, right? So the Capricorn symbol that's out there, right, is indicative of an attribute or a trait. Now remember, nothing is definitive. I'm gonna keep saying that for the people that come in late, right? It don't mean it's solid and written in stone. But when you look at the overall, that's what you'll see. The Capricorn symbol is half fish, half goat. What does that mean? Ghosts walk on land, fish on water. That means we're very diverse. So we could flex between. You're going to find most Capricorns, we don't have friction with hardly any other horoscope because we will flex, we'll bend. You know what? If you're a land traveler, you like stability in your life, we'll rock with you. But if you like to be fluid and be indecisive, I understand. I'll flow with you. That's why Capricorns are unique. You don't see us. You'll see Leos fighting against Geminis and all that stuff. You hardly ever see the Capricorn in the midst of those conversations. Now, you lay a personality on top of your genre that changes things. Horoscopes, there's some Capricorns that use their gifts and abilities for evil. They manipulate people. So the
I met a
horoscope can be
Pisces
a
that
your horoscope. It can be a starting point, but it ain't an end game. Let me just say that.
I believe. Oh well, whatever. I think once I seen myself in all 12 of the signs, I think I was kind of done for with it. You know what I'm saying? I realized I can be all 12 of them. I realized
Well,
it,
that's right. It's where you flourish at though, right? Okay, you're an African American male, right? You got a lot of common with other African Americans. What makes Kev different though? You're common. You got the skin you have, the hair you have, the structure you have, but that makes us something that's different about Kev. It's the same thing with horoscope. Just because they all look similar, they share similar attributes, there are profound attributes that each one of them show. Let me tell you something I've seen about
so
most Gemini. They are moody as hell. They could switch moods on you like it ain't nobody's business. And are all of them that way? No. But a lot of them are very moody, Kev. They can be happy 1 second. You can walk out the room, come back, they're pissed off. And you don't even know
is
why.
that the only sign that's moody? Go to bed, TT. Go to
They're
bed.
the,
Go to bed. Go to
no,
bed.
they're the moodiest. Remember, this is the profound attribute. That doesn't mean a Virgo can't be moody. Doesn't mean a Capricorn. But they're personified by, they show this attribute more than any other attribute.
And sometimes, and again, Kev, like even with that, you gotta get into your rising and your moon sign. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get
I'm
into
sorry.
those,
It's not gonna
different.
work. I kind of I wrote it off a long time ago when I was in my
Listen,
young
find
20s.
out
It's
your,
not.
find out what time you was born. That's all you gotta do.
All I know, I'm me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to read up on my personality. I'm good on that. I'm not about to have something tell me about my life. And then even if look, if I read up on it right, I'm gonna try my best just because I'm that type of person to do the opposite. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am.
What's your sign, Kev? Kev, what's your sign?
I just can't. I'm a Virgo.
Now, somebody tell me what the Virgo's
What they say
attributes are.
about that? Virgos go against their own sign.
Oh, look, so I Googled Virgo men, right? When he first said he was a Virgo, I Googled Virgo men. And one of the first, in the first little Google excerpt, okay, it said that they're incredibly intuitive and that they have the ability to
September
discern
9th.
deceitful people at like almost off the bat. And that's literally like one of those traits that Kev brags about all the time. So
Wait,
like
say
you're
it again.
your zodiac, even though you're saying you're not your zodiac.
Wait, say that again. What did it say
Right.
about? What did it say? No, say it one more time.
That you're very intuitive, you can discern deceitful people incredibly quickly. That like if a person is a bad person, you can spot that almost immediately.
Yeah, they're intuitive. They very well are. Now, Kev, I'm gonna give you a list of attributes that's a sign. Okay, let me break this down first. A cake is a cake because of the combination of attributes or ingredients, right? Here's the Virgo. I've seen these signs in you. Kev, are you hardworking?
No,
Are you lazy? You lie. You put too much work in this TikTok
I'm
for
gonna say
me.
everything.
Creative? I know you're creative. Reliable, Kev. One thing I can rely and count on is you're gonna be on this live at least 3 times a week. I know that, right? Unless you had to work, that's how I know you're hardworking. Patient, I've watched how you handle people in lives. You will wait and be patient with people longer than most people in their lives, way more patient than me. Kind, you one of the most kindest people on this freaking live. Critical, hell to the yes. You have a critical perspective of people's views. Stubborn, yes, you push back when you believe in something. Overthinking, hell to the yes. That's all attributes combined together. That's a Virgo.
I feel like everybody do that though. And then
That's
I
what,
recently
right? A
just
Virgo would
started
say
being
that.
that way 2 years
A
ago.
Virgo, a Virgo would say that. That's everybody. When I said primary attributes that are manifested on the regular, we all visit, but we don't all live there. You live in this.
I literally just started being this way or a little bit deeper this way within 3 years ago because I changed. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't like this all the time.
Who told you change?
I was ego and I was super stubborn and had like anger issues a little
That's
bit,
what
just
he's
a little
saying.
bit.
Stubborn.
Uh-huh. Yep, you
Yeah, I
stubborn.
think
Watch this.
everybody's stubborn and has some type of stubbornness to them, especially when
Nah,
you try to talk.
It's
yeah.
Just like we doing now, like
specific
y'all
to,
being stubborn with
look,
these
look.
signs, no matter
He's
how much I
living
tell you
Some
about.
in
some
So
people
Virgo
are
and
stubborn.
what
all.
the free? We all
Kev,
Virgos
Kev,
now.
Kev, you never talk about relationships, but you're romantic, platonic, professional. You everything that a Virgo exemplifies
You a
to
family
the T.
man. You a lover and a family man.
I'm a
Yes.
family man without a family. Oh my.
Listen, that don't mean that you still got family. You can feel it. You can see it. You care. And then you still a
Yes.
butthole at the end of the day. I ain't gonna say the world word because the
That's the
Virgo.
critical part. That's the critical. That's what I
You
was
know what
talking
I'm
Oh
about.
my
saying?
gosh. Everybody, I done see, dog, this is too funny. We try to find something to
But y'all be
validate.
in denial a lot. At least the men do.
Not
The
in, most
women be
definitely not in
straightforward.
denial.
The Virgo
Kev,
women be
it,
straightforward.
Be myself. I just
yeah,
refuse. I refuse to tie myself to anything.
that's called stubborn.
Or that's me not being naive. You know what I'm saying? I just don't
You
want to be
call it.
naive and
You
follow
call it.
everything.
Look, in everything in life, there are attributes assigned to it to give it identity. It doesn't make it bad. It doesn't make it box in, but it gives the ability to understand what we're dealing with. At
Hey,
the end of the day, I look my attributes. They got some rough shit in it for a Capricorn, but so when I see who I am, it lets me have an area to work on to improve. So I can say either I am that or I once was that. I don't have to remain that, but I'm not gonna be in ignorance as to how I'm wired. We're all wired a certain way. It's like a poverty mindset, right? How do we know poverty mindset? By the attributes they display. Some of those attributes are going to be displayed by other people who don't have a poverty mindset. But where they abide at most of the time is how we begin to identify who they are. Give you one. Let's go biblical. The virtuous woman, biblically, Proverbs 31, breaks down the characteristics of a virtuous woman. So most men that's in church go looking for a woman that matches those characteristics. Those characteristics, some of those characteristics exist in women that's not virtuous too. So but we should never do this.
That's my point, and that's the reason why I have so much pushback on this situation, because I feel like it's separating us more than anything. We be dodging people that could be blessings in our life because we blame it on a bad experience we had from a while ago, and like, oh, I can't mess with none of those or something like that. I don't think it's like, I think everybody got the ability to change. Everybody got the ability to grow and be something different from what we get set as. It's like if nobody had the ability to change, right? That means it's a lot of people that you should not be able to marry on here. It's just like they just to play with. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically who want to read their sign and find out they just play. You know what I'm saying? Especially who. Okay, somebody horoscope say that I am. Oh, so just like you said, stubborn, right? That is not good. That's something you got to work on. You can't be stubborn, and you got to be open minded, which is the opposite, which is what I do. Like I said, I had to grow from my stubborn ways because I want to be more open minded and listen to different like point of views, or or believe that it actually could probably be aliens out here. You know what I'm saying? Because life itself is just a mystery anyway. So that's why I had to be more open minded. Because even with all this stuff, we can get proven wrong any day. That's how open minded I am about the situation. You know what I'm saying? So
what if I told you
that
still
doesn't
stubborn?
necessarily mean like when you saying like with stubborn and being open minded, it's kind of two different things, but you're being aware of that at least. And that's the whole thing. Like I don't think it really controls the situation, but like I said I could probably never deal with another Aries man because the characteristics, the energy that we naturally possess within that space of that sign, I don't look at it and say, are you just like me? It's just certain things. My battery dying. It's like certain things I don't care for, so I'll try to overlook it, but I'm aware of certain things. But when you talk about like the sign, I mean, where you may not feel like you stubborn, and this is coming from a good place, you know, there are just natural stubborn places that being.
yeah,
It just makes you the Virgo, but it's not a bad thing.
everybody like that though.
It is. It's cool. Not
That's a
necessarily in
regular human
certain
trait.
ways. Like me. Like I talk a little bit like, okay, so Hobo's a Scorpio. So I'm a Aries. I'm a little bit more aggressive in how I approach my conversation sometimes. She's cool.
You Aries?
Yeah.
Oh, you like conflict?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I have no problem with going back and forth. I have no problem with that. And it doesn't make me feel any way. I don't feel like over exaggerated. It actually gives me not good energy, but it gives me an energy that's like, all right, my fire. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a characteristic I don't try to flaunt. I try to calm that down and give more of a calm approach when I'm aware of it.
Kev, watch this. Watch this. I love the fact she's being transparent. So in relationships, if the person's too peaceful and doesn't like to involve in a back and forth dialogue, that makes you concerned, don't it, Lola?
It makes me feel like it's like just say it, like be straight up what's going on. But that was an issue as well because I wasn't giving my person enough time to get themselves prepared for the conversation.
Because there's an immaturity. There's an immaturity we have when we don't know who we are. And Aries are good because here's the other thing, right? Every attribute you say and we look at as negative, there's a positive side. Kevin, we call you stubborn, but the maturity part brings you from stubborn to dedicated and determined. We love stubborn people because once they mature, they become focused and they have this I'm going to get it done mentality and they become reliable, which is the attribute of a Virgo. That's what that attribute turns into. She likes conflict, so what that does as a maturity, she becomes the person who likes to solve problems. Let's fix it. Let's get it done. And she's not afraid to deal with challenges.
Some people don't mature though. What you just said, some people don't do that. But they blame their stuff.
But we're talking about a generalization, Kev. If I could show you 1 million people that fall in there, you don't show me 10, which one is more probable? Like my man say, like it's a starting point. It don't mean you won't change, don't mean you won't evolve, don't mean there's other factors. But when you've met certain people in your life. Like I do what's called a pecking order for relationships. Kev, I, as an oldest child, don't do well in relationship with middle children. And there's a reason for that. And in my next book I'm working on, I'm writing that down. I had to look at which people I have the highest probability of success. Are there anomalies that defy that? Yes. But how much stress you willing to go through to find that person?
So I didn't know it was gonna get this deep. Now I gotta hit y'all with the. Oh, I already hit Lola with the questions. Now it's that time because y'all get me. Now I gotta ask y'all some deep stuff so I can get y'all to thinking real quick. So first off, I'm gonna hit y'all with the. And like I said, it ain't no. It's just I'm just trying to bring some awareness and stuff, just so we can be open minded to certain situations. Because see how many people gonna be stubborn. Or turn to a Virgo on me real quick. So I I looked up who created astrology. Okay, we see is the group called the Mesopotamians. Not only invented the. I must be saying it wrong though, but I don't know. But I
No, you're
think, and
saying
then
it
we
right.
following the Roman calendar, right? So I guess it came from Greek, and they named the Greek gods each different ones or something like that, right? So then I asked I don't know how that popped up though, but it had came up, do horoscopes matter? Hold up. Do horoscopes matter, right? So then it said, oh, astrology has been rejected by the scientific community as having no dang boy. No explanatory
Explanatory.
explanatory boy explanatory power for describing the universe. Scientists tested has found no evidence to support the premise or purported effect outlined in astrology tradition. So besides that, right, let me ask y'all the golden questions I asked Lola earlier. She was the only one that probably heard them. Maybe help her hold it a little bit. So the first one is, if I have a baby out in space, I know MCB gonna use the same thing that she said. I have a baby out in space. What sign is that baby gonna take? Because time not real already. I think y'all should know that by now. Time not real because we only go based off of how the Earth rotates. You know what I'm saying? Sun up, sun down. We make the calculation and whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if you go in space, time don't even count. How you take time? So if I have a baby in space, so what would happen? Like, what sign that baby gonna take?
Perfect question. Astronomy is not based off of location. It's based on things that are beyond yourself. So it's going to take on the same sign during the identified bracket of time in which it was born, because time is actually originally created by the position of the sun, the moon, and the stars. Period. At the end of the day. So if it's in space, wherever the orientation of the moon and the stars are at that time, is how we started quantifying all that stuff. So it's going to be whatever you view as December or not December. When the stars align, it always aligns the same way.
So I like you that. Now I got to do the best for last. The best for last. Let's see what you got for this one. So when it comes to the signs, right? Why do the signs only apply when you come out your mother instead of when you get your first heartbeat or when your brain form or your first sound of a sign of life?
Let me help you with that one. So part of astronomy is the understanding that we are made up of the same elements of the earth, which is influenced by things that are in space, such as the moon, which could move the tides. So the first way you know a baby's coming is how the water breaks. So when you released it from its water, it's on its own cognizance at that point, and now it's relying on the universe. Now I'm saying this so people understand that conversation. It's relying on the universe. It's being sustained by the core, which is the mother. Now that it's released, it's on its own influence, supported by the mother. So that's why they start counting it from the time of birth.
So it can't be the first heartbeat sign of life, or your brain develops.
You're sharing a space right now. You're in a womb. You're sharing a space. You're sharing a space in which a whole organ is developed inside a woman called the placenta that is sustaining your life. Then her amniotic fluid is surrounding you. You're in a protected mode, totally dependent upon her. So she's sharing food, in everything with you. You're not independent. The reason that happens is when astronomy takes over, it goes off your point of independence in which you are connected to the world.
Okay, so what about this then? Now you made me think of a third one, I guess. So if say if it was a so you saying would they trait change? So I guess it's the character or traits or whatever that people that it come off with, right? So you say if I was supposed to be born on 29th or something like that, then the next sign is the next day, right? So it would it automatically because I was about to have it the day before and it hit 12 o'clock, it's gonna change its sign or it's gonna have that
Let me,
trait?
Kev, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not the one to answer that question. I deliver my daughters at home in the tub on
So,
natural birth. So
yeah.
somebody who went to the hospital and got a pitocin and got induced, that's a whole different matter. So
No, I'm just saying, just in general, like you was about to, like the about the thing that had your baby at 11:59, but it 12 o'clock hit. That mean the personality go change soon at 12 o'clock because it came out a minute early or late.
your
I mean,
birth, everything is founded on birth, not on science that doctors have created. Your birthing season is your birthing season. What doctors predicted it to be is irrelevant to the nature of it.
hmm.
So when a woman goes to the doctor and says you're expected on this date, that's his date. That's not the natural process of a woman. The woman's body
Yeah,
will tell her when that baby's coming. And whenever that baby's manifested, there it abides, period, at the end of the day. If you're born in Africa, you're African.
right.
I don't care if your parents are American. You was born in Africa. So it's
Yeah,
the same thing. Whatever segment you're born in, those attributes are assigned to you at that point. Now, how that gets assigned,
that's what I'm trying to get to. Right.
that's a deep spiritual matter that's beyond my intellect. I'm smart, but I ain't that damn smart.
That's what I was about to get to because I wasn't talking about the doctor making your date. I'm just saying that you was just about to come out right on just a 59 or whatever. That you were coming out on 12. That means your whole everything gonna change because 12 o'clock hit. That's what I'm saying.
When the universe embraces you, you get what the universe gives you.
Wow. So
Now
that
I'm
but
saying,
at the end of the day, this my whole point. The reason why I say this though, this besides everybody, whatever. The thing is that I just feel like that because I do believe we have full control of our whole life, and the reason why that's why I said lack accountability, right? Because I feel like that anybody can go back to saying that oh this sign made me be this way because this the way I am or something like that,
yeah,
and I believe we can always change the way we are, especially if we change the
absolutely.
environment, we change the people we connect with. We can act whole different way. I don't think that somebody that was September the 9th across the sea is like me or have any type of traits like me. I just can't believe it. Me myself, I just can't.
No.
It could be a dang
You
on
remind me
mirror
so much
image.
of my cousin. Oh my gosh, Shirley.
Yeah, right. Oh, he a Virgo too.
I told you, you and my cousin got the same birthday. I mean, but y'all, I
Oh my.
mean, you remind me a lot of my dude too. So I mean, it's like, and it's not like anything that's bad. It's just certain Virgo characteristics I'm used to
Right.
that, like he said, like I mean,
They a motivational speaker too.
yes, by far. And I've been very impatient, you know what I'm saying? Like I just want to get out and talk. And it's like, I had to learn just to calm down and be able to listen, which has been a great lesson, because I didn't realize the effect of my rushing and being like hurry up and how that affected, a person that wasn't at that level of, communicating. So it's a lot that's what I'm still saying. You could learn from stuff and then
She
that
said
can help a
we
relationship and
have an
develop you learn
illusion.
somebody, I guess. I don't know.
So, so
Yeah.
she said we have an illusion of full control. So what you
That's it.
saying that you get forced to do everything you do today or your choices?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you do not and you never will have full control over your life because your life already existed before this point. Like you can't go back in time and change what happened when you were a child and you had no control. And
Right.
those things will affect you in your future. And you can never make those things go away. You can work on them
Man,
and try
you
to like make it better, but
but
you don't undo it and therefore you don't have full control. Just like you can't control
yesterday
your
is
skin color,
yesterday.
you can't control your height, you can't control there's a lot of things in life that we cannot control, but we have the illusion of control because we can change like our actions and our thought processes today, but it doesn't do
Yesterday is
anything about the
yesterday
legacy.
though. I'm talking about now.
Well, look, I love it. Look, I'm loving this topic you got, Kev, because I do professional development, aka life coaching, and I had a client today. And one thing that we we talk about, right? And I preach this to them. You can't fix what you don't understand. You could feel like something wrong with you, but if you can identify exactly where that's happening at, you could be dealing with symptoms and not the real issue. So some of these things that we learned over the years have been misused and mishandled. Once you start identifying, right? Like for me, I share an attribute. Keep the word I said, share an attribute with a Virgo. I can be a little stubborn.
I think a lot of people could.
Well, Kev, keep what I'm saying. You know why? You're running across people and you have a hyper realism for stubbornness. So you see it all day long. Whatever you focus on is what you're going to see. I know that I'm stubborn. So because I learned that about myself, I've worked on that. So when somebody
Exactly.
talks about being stubborn, I can go be like, yeah, that was me. But I also recognize the group of people that manifest that characteristic more frequently than other people. Like, for example, let me give you a sign that nobody gonna deny. You know who likes to hit below the belt, and when they hit you, they're gonna hit you hard? Scorpios. They're gonna
Wow.
sting your ass. And they're gonna be remorseful, but while they're doing, once you trigger them, it's no holding back. They love hitting me below the belt.
You shouldn't have put me in that position. You shouldn't have left your belt open. That's got nothing to do with me.
So,
You
or
asked for it, I gave it to you. That's it.
so you don't provoke a Scorpio.
Listen,
If you, what I know is this: if I know you're a Scorpio, I already know not to push you too much because when you get enough, you gonna go blind. You ain't gonna care about the relationship. You gonna just sting me and then pay for it later.
Somebody
Absolutely.
said, I'm
baby
sorry,
Kevin,
y'all.
man, you been up
Somebody
here
said
for a
that
minute. Let's
any
see.
sign, the guy said any sign has that capability. The thing
I
is
agree.
how you deal with it in your emotions, though. Like, I could probably, I'm sorry, baby. I don't know what you are. But between all three of us in the UK, we're going to deal with it in different ways. Like
I think you're
my
right.
emotions after I literally lay somebody so deep into the ground, can't nobody find you. I be feeling so bad, and I be like, dang, I shouldn't have done that. And then my approach is at the wrong time sometimes. Scorpio's probably a little bit more precise, and they probably not gonna have no feelings behind it, cut you
Yep.
so loose. And if you come back, I'm still gonna probably keep you right there, but I'm not gonna rock
Yes.
with you.
That's common.
Capricorn,
Do
y'all like, I don't know about the males, but y'all be hitting below the belt unnecessarily. Y'all gonna come before
On the
somebody
cool.
get y'all. Y'all gonna be ready. Before the
We're gonna
attack
do it
come,
on
I
the
already
cool,
got you.
subliminally.
do twins act the same?
Who, Gemini? Who you talking about?
Do twins in general,
Oh, I
do you
don't
think
know.
they act the same?
I don't know
No,
about that. I ain't no time.
no, we don't.
And I got another one real quick too. What about uh Freak? I forgot. Whatever. You can go ahead, baby. I forgot. I had another good one.
Like somebody said, all any sign has the capability. You know what? Every human has the ability to shoot a jump shot, right? What separates a professional or somebody that we call have talent from the ones that don't? Because we can all throw a ball at a hoop. It's the frequency in which the person does it that brings it to the attribute status. And people could debate it. Look, people could debate it all day long. Oh no, they got nothing to do with it. The statistics prove you wrong.
Hmm.
Statistically, you're wrong because you could show enough people to support my argument and not as many people to support the other argument. Guaranteed.
Oh, you almost made me think about what I was about to say too. Oh, what the frick? You got it was a my time.
But,
Oh
but yeah, I
man,
feel like this is just getting lost because, like, if we're describing a thing, right? If you're like, oh, well, what's a cat? And I say, oh, well, a cat has four paws, and you go, oh, well, a bear has four paws. Like that's how I feel like
That's right.
we're
Oh, I
being
love it.
about this.
Yes.
We're
that's
Thank
like,
you.
it's something like
Repeat
Xander
that.
saying right there. I was gonna say something like that. What Xander saying, the fact that we can mature and all that stuff, that
Oh,
changed a
we
lot.
say that.
It's
Yeah, we
something
can.
dealing with that, but I'm gonna think of what I was about to say.
But let her say that again because that was a perfect personification of what we're dealing with now. Please say
that's
that
what I'm
again.
saying. I promise you. Like, if you ask me to describe a cat, and I say, oh, well, a cat has four paws, and you go, well, bears have four paws. Well, dogs have four paws. Well, yes, they do, but this is if you this is a whole animal. And all of these pieces make up this specific animal. They may
Yes.
share attributes with other animals, yes, but this one
Yes.
looks like this.
Something distinct, right? So there's lions, tigers, leopards, cheetahs, pumas, cougars. They're all cats. They all have a lot of similar attributes, but there's some defining quality that makes them all different. That
That
is
sound like
common.
mixture of both our arguments together and show that
Well,
every just because you a cat, y'all ain't got to all act the same.
but there's a defining element that makes you different, right? Is there a
Yeah.
tiger or is there a lion that weighs as much as a tiger? Yes, but weight alone does not make it a tiger. There's something about that tiger's attributes that are common amongst them that make them a tiger. There's an attribute
Yeah.
amongst a lion that makes it a lion. Animals and human beings are two different elements. Hell to the no. We're all species, period. You can believe that if you want to. We got just as many variations as any other animal on the planet. Differences, but the elements that we are, that's why you could put a pig heart in a human.
I don't think of what I was about to say. I swear it was something dealing with.
I feel like a pig would have high cholesterol. I can't prove that, but it's just a feeling I have.
I feel like that too. We can change. So Kev said we're saying the same thing. We can change those things, but here's where people are unsuccessful. You're gonna have a hard time changing what you don't understand, so because you have no start point, you're gonna be guessing your way through it. Once you learn who you are, and if you don't want the attribute to dominate you, you can change that. You can actually change that. You can become. You can take control of your life. And Kev, I love Kev always talking about accountability. Once I recognized, based on research and experience, who I was, the things that were not bringing me where I wanted to be, I had to intentionally focus on those things to shift it and change it. But I knew my starting point. When you don't know what you're trying to fix, go get your mechanic that say, I don't know where to start on this. I bet you won't pay him. He needs to be able to identify what's wrong first. He needs to know an engine first. If he's never worked on an engine, good luck getting your car fixed. There's certain things about us that the more we learn, we have become self-aware. We can identify attributes that are benefiting us and some of our own attributes that are hurting us. Like, for example, right? We pick up some of our thinking and behavior and who we are on top of all that from our families. One day you wake up and realize
Right.
that ain't healthy. That's toxic. It
Right.
don't mean you, but you got to
So,
realize that you toxic and where you got it from. But then you could change that. When you don't try to
so
change it, you're not being accountable.
I'm trying to get to how just like you said, right? We picked that up from our family, right? So like, how do some stars make me be stubborn? I'm trying to get that. That's what's getting me. Like, how I thought you kind of get taught that, right? Or depending on your environment, you hanging around and all that stuff.
Put it this way, look,
Like all of us
I
got the
got two
same thing, like that
kids.
capability thing you was talking about. All of us literally do the same exact stuff. When I talk to people daily, I can hear, like you said. Now you said I can. I guess I can identify it, but I see a lot of people is driven off ego and pride. That's why. That's the only reason why I put that entitlement part at the end of the part. That they're very entitled because everybody wants somebody to believe that they are this. They are going to be. You know what I'm saying? They feel like this is what it's supposed to be like, and you can't. That's what it is. And that's still stubborn. You know what I'm saying? No matter how we want to look, everybody got some type of stubbornness inside them, right? But it's
Yeah,
just
but
depending on what you choose to, open up to. Because like I said, I believe that a lot of us is missing blessings. Well, you already got yours though, but I'm just saying, I'm just saying in general, people be missing out on good possible friends and all this stuff because they got so deep into this, like, oh, these two don't belong, we don't belong. But it's like it's deeper than this. Only reason I talk about stuff like this is because like we be and the same thing I be doing with the skin color and all that stuff. We find some way to divide one another when we all got different type of mentalities or something. It's just all about gathering together off mentality and stuff. It ain't about the signs and the religion you in and the skin you in and all that stuff. Like you gotta actually start understanding people. Like I
yeah,
think it's stuff. Life is deeper than this stuff.
Kev, that's shared attributes, right? So watch this. What makes a pastry a pastry?
The bake
What ingredient makes it a pastry?
dough.
Dough, right? Which is, let's keep diving in, because dough is a combination of things, right? Would you agree that flour is what makes a pastry a pastry? We gotta know. It is or ain't. Can you make pastry without flour?
Let's see.
It's
What
an attribute.
no, you can't. I don't think you can. I don't know that much about food, but I think
Right.
there might be some more extra stuff. I don't know.
Well, no, flour is one ingredient that makes the pastry a primary ingredient, right? Watch
Right.
this. I'm from Louisiana. I make gum roux and I start off with a roux. A roux uses flour and oil. Not one time would you ever say that a roux is a pastry. Got the same ingredient as a cake, but you would not identify them the same because there's other combined attributes that gives it a characteristics. Now I don't
Mm.
know if that made sense what I just said. So when you're saying I'm stubborn, they all stubborn, we do share some attributes, but it's the combination of common attributes that gives it an identity.
So I'm glad y'all talked about animals. Do animals follow signs too?
I don't know. I don't have one, but not to go too far off topic, but you went to a twin question. I think baby Kevin's about to talk, and I was about to say I got two kids that have total different personalities. So I will go back to that twin
We might be getting
question.
somewhere.
Right. So they in my house, but my daughter is a Sagittarius, my son is Aquarius. They act totally different in so many ways. But then there's certain ways that they act the same when we
Right.
do normal stuff. But
All
to
of
the
us act the
twin
same in some
question,
way.
right, but
Oh,
I can
that
see the
you just reminded me.
characteristics of each of them. And it's like with my daughter, with me, us being two fire signs, we're very, the way we talk, the way we interact is not even like a mother daughter or mother son thing, but it's a way in which we do certain things and how our energy just shifts and changes. And the same thing with my Aquarius, how our energy works together and how it switches. It's a difference. How they two clash or work, like they clash a lot. And so they have to figure out how to work that energy together. For me, it's a lot about
Damn, I
energy.
forgot. Fuck.
All that energy is wrapped up to me within that zodiac sign, the stars, the moon, all that stuff. So it's not really hard to understand it or get too deep into it. But it's just once you understand the cusp of it, you don't have to let it lead your life. It's nothing like
Yeah.
be close to a Bible, really. It's just like being really able to understand yourself, and not even on like a super spiritual level, just down to some little characteristics that even if you are looking for your mate, at least you say, like, what type of and I'm not going to ask you personally, but if you name a type of female you like, I bet you I could narrow down the perfect type of female based off a sign. Maybe not the person based off of them and their environment, but I could wrap around like this would be a great person that will help engulf and encourage that Virgo spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how it can help.
All due
I
respect,
can't believe
I
it just happened
don't
to me,
believe in
dog.
signs.
Oh,
If you're saying something, okay.
y'all can go ahead. I literally forgot what I was about to say. I wanted to get it out too. I can't. I feel like I'm getting old. What the
It will
freak? I
come back.
literally had a
It will
good
come
one.
back. It will come back.
This
It
the third
happens.
time. Literally, I
And you
keep forgetting
know,
it.
I walk in the other room sometimes. I'm like, what did I walk in here for? You know, it does. It
Listen,
Bro, this is
really
crazy. And she told me not to forget it, and I literally just forgot about it.
is.
That was wild.
the
It'll
twin
come
thing.
back.
No, it was
Oh,
something. It was something deeper, and I had a real good one too. I'm gonna think of it though. Man, freak.
um,
Oh, okay. Now I remember. There we go. We
good.
got it. Look at God, say So look, this I'm a firm believer of, and this is what's going on though, because like, and this ain't no they pessimistic and all that stuff. But whatever, you know what I'm saying? Pessimistic, then you got optimistic people. They actually said it's easy, it's a fair ground on that situation. So I'm a firm believer, just like the karma stuff. I guess they was talking about all that stuff, which I don't believe in that either, right? But I'm a firm believer that whatever energy you focus on is what you gonna see. So that's what's going on with this sign stuff, right? And this what so that's what it is. So we once we read up on something, right? We're gonna look out for that, and as soon as it happened, and this we're gonna be like, oh, that validated. There you go. I knew it. You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever you look for is gonna happen. Just like the world. The world is full of good and bad, right? It's good and bad, but if you want to say that something bad, you're gonna wait on something bad so you can validate that it's, oh, I knew that person was a bad person or something like that. But really, everybody got both. You know what I'm saying? It's literally both. So that's just like me. I chose to look at things in a positive type lens, so that I see all the positive, even when bad come. You know what I'm saying? I see the positive in it. You know what I'm saying? That's what make you be more optimistic and stuff. But it's like nothing we can change about certain situations. Like these traits we talking about, even though you said it's dominant on certain situations, but you're gonna validate it because you read up on it and say that oh yeah, this most definitely look, he a little bit, who makes, like, what makes something worse than another thing if all of everybody can literally can be super stubborn, they can be super aggressive or whatever they want to do. I mean, what I don't even know what I just said. Whatever they want to do, right? That's what, like, literally, whatever you want to focus on is what you're going to validate. That's
Yeah.
like, I'm a firm believer on
Let
that.
me ask you a question, Kev. Do you believe in statistics?
Yes.
So you just compromise your argument. Statistics is a combination of experiences documented to show a pattern, not definitively, but a pattern. You cannot say I believe in statistics and say I don't believe in
So,
horoscopes and signs. They're not definitive.
so
Keep that in mind.
the
They're a
statistics I just
collection of
looked up,
data.
they, scientists don't even got nothing for it. They say don't even. They literally say they reject it. That's what I just looked at,
A
right?
group
Like
of
it just really
people,
probably got
a group
updated.
of people who are arguing against another group of scientists. Astronomers are scientists, right?
You said
Yeah,
astronomers.
scientists debate all the time, but the principle is statistics. Historically, the data that's been collected to develop this belief system or these attributes are collected over time. They're basically statistics. Now, I don't believe in letting statistics dictate my life, right?
I said the Romans came up with it though.
Okay, so the group of people matters. The Romans,
No.
okay, who specifically? Not they wasn't the citizens just sitting around kicking rocks. Those were professionals in their career. They
So who right
used
then? If one scientist saying no, the other scientist saying yeah, like who could we believe then? That's where the confusion come in at. It's just weird.
which scientists did the study? Let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So people are dedicated in a certain career, right? These astronomers and people who do this, they spent their lives doing this most of the time. Then there's always going to be an opposing group of people who did most time. Kevin, when most people are challenging you, would you say most of the time they challenge you hard, coming at you with ignorance and didn't do their research?
That's a lot of the times, yeah.
A lot of times, right? So you're gonna always have an opposing group in what you do. Statistics give you a group that's been studied, and we come to a conclusion that based on what we've learned, this is prevalence right here. People don't understand statistics are a starting point. Where I have a problem is when you let the statistics dictate your future decisions. I don't live by horoscope. I don't live by astronomy, but I respect the study and the information that I see the pattern that's been shown to us.
I
Now,
feel like
once
that's
I see
something we got
that,
to grow from, man. That's the reason why I'm not enforcing it so much because people getting literally believing that. I feel and just like you said we can mature for it. So I would rather focus on the not tell, not because the thing is people is going to be so deep into it and then they're going to find themselves singles for the rest of their life. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people
yeah,
want to be
yeah,
taken, right.
that's gonna happen with everything. You see us on our lives, right? People should statistically believe they should get an LLC. I don't want to get into the business too deep, and we have to fight against that. And we showing them facts about where you should really be, and they're still gonna fight against it. That's gonna happen. So what we do is the ones that it helps, we help. The ones that want to continue to operate the way they do, they do. When you put out information in the free world, people are gonna always choose what they want to believe and what they don't want to believe. And sometimes that defies the evidence that's in front of them. That's gonna always happen. You have some phenomenal lives. I can tell a whole bunch of people your lives are phenomenal. You bring out great topics, create great discussion. You manage it where it's not an angry debate. It's just passionate people talking. And then somebody might come in your live one day with their own perceptions already and say, oh, that's bullshit. Man, he talking about, and they're gonna have, and they're gonna post an argument. They're gonna start a whole nother live to talk about your live.
Cool, make me
That's
famous.
right. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna always be a back and forth of people who agree and disagree. But what I would never argue with is facts. What are facts? That's also subjective. All I can consider facts is what's been sit in front of me and proven to be real. Now I got to take that information and say I want to apply it to my life.
Let's do it, AJ.
Some people take the horoscope to the extremes. I get it.
That's my point.
They do. But the problem is because somebody took it to an extreme doesn't mean it doesn't have relevance anymore.
It makes people not want to grow though. That's the thing, man. And I'm all about trying to get people to expand their mind and let them know that you can do it, or you can break out this that's something, you know what I'm saying, these habits or whatever, that I guess that's what it is or whatever. You can break out of that by simply working on yourself.
That's what
because if you always, it's like the victim mentality type situation, right? If you always got something to set back on blaming something, the reason why you doing something, like you would never change it. You be like, hey, this just me. You know what I'm saying? It's just me. I'm like this or something like that. And I don't think I don't think it's like that. I think we all have the ability to change. You know what I'm saying? We just got to really want to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't want to tell somebody that you stuck doing this. You're stuck because your sign says this. You know what I'm saying? Or until you mature and all that stuff. But it's like, even with that, everybody mature is different too. Or some people don't never. Some people be like 60 years old and still immature. You know what I'm saying? So that, it's just, I don't know. That junk is just deep, dog.
I think like astrology is a lot of like, some people use that as a form of a life movement of finding themselves. So it's all into what you think. And that's why, again, earlier I went back to say people use different things as a form of guidance. I mean, when you're talking about science and stuff, it's something different, but you don't have to look that deep into it. I don't think people are seriously looking at it in that way. If anything, it's more enlightenment than it has been negativity. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's something that we have to push or not push. It's something that is more of entertainment than it is negativity, which we find ourselves getting caught up in the entertainment portion of it. But I feel like if people are allowing anything to determine who they're going to fall in love with and everything, you still haven't found yourself, which is a whole nother conversation. Because if you're determining anything based off of what is presented to you, you don't even have the right fact check, list in front of you. You kind of like, because you're basing off of material, off of entertainment, not off of tangible things that are right in front of you. Like I said, I would never approach a person saying, what's your sign? We're going to have a conversation, and based off that conversation, I'm going to already tell whether I care for your energy or not. Later on, we'll get to the signs, and I'll be like, okay, you and such and such. That's why you kind of acting like this. Okay, all right, that's cool. Or, no, I know y'all a little aggressive. I don't really probably want to deal with somebody because you seem a little immature right now. I don't think I could wait for you to grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's guidance.
So if they was born into a calm home, right, and they had this the aggressive sign, right, you think they just gonna naturally be aggressive in a calm environment?
I'm that person. My mom is a Capricorn, very calm. I am the fire in my home. You would think I am not a part of my family sometimes, because I'd be just
I'm saying the environment. I'm talking about the people you connect with, all that stuff.
I'm saying as far as in my home, like, I have a very calm home, but I'm very passionate when I talk. So when I talk to my mom, she gets like, ooh, why are you so mad? I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm just like, even this conversation, I don't know if I sound aggressive, angry, anything, but like, this is just how I talk when I, just talking. But my mom would be like, why are you so aggressive? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm just, thought we was cool.
I bet Money wasn't no aggressive baby though. You just grew into that. It was the people you connected with.
Boy, I got videos.
I bet you was like, goo goo gaga. You was up in her face and stuff. I bet Money you wasn't like that.
Let me tell you, my parents have videos of me like being like, turn the channel. Oh my God. Like, I was a little brat, okay? Like, and I probably still am sometimes around the wrong people. So, it's all in just being like, it is not nothing about being just an Aries, but it's the characteristic that I know we.
Everybody in this room is correct in their perceptions at the end of the day. There are common attributes that are shared. We should not be boxed in by it. We should not lean into it. But the fact remains, my only argument is that what's present and evident is present and evident. What we do with it is different between every person. Some people are going to take it to the extreme. I use an example, right? Some people get involved in religion to have a starting point on spirituality. And then
Right.
they become extreme about it, right? They don't, if the Bible didn't say it, I ain't doing it. That's an
Right.
extreme thing, right? To think
Yep.
like that, as if that God's presence and influence didn't exist before the written text.
Mm-hmm.
But I recognize that some people need a starting point in order to get their head clear in direction. Some people choose religion. Some people choose horoscope. Some people choose not to believe anything. That's all their starting point. But if you let your initial teacher dictate all of your decisions, that shows a sign of mental weakness on a person. Me, I love embracing different perspectives and understanding, but at the end of the day, you best believe this, Kevin. This is where I agree with you 110%. I am the master of my faith. I am going to determine what I do. I'm not going to let extenuating factors quantify me or box me into being a certain person. If I'm too stubborn, I'm going to change that. I don't care what that sign said. I'm going to
Thank you.
evolve. I'm going to
Exactly.
become better. But I know where so when I see a list of attributes that need to be repaired or fixed or embraced, I take those for what it is. But at the end, I'm the deciding factor. But here's one thing I can always agree with is that I can always look back and see who I was. I can see the attributes of that person. And what that does for me in my industry, it allows me to help people understand themselves to help them move to a better place. That's all it does.
So I got something then. I just thought about something, right? You said, okay, it's a statistic thing and a repetitive thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say something like that? That's on the
Yeah.
statistics. Why a bunch of people act a certain way on certain months, right?
Right.
So say if, right, do you believe people can change statistics?
Absolutely. But that's always
So say if I
always.
was like, right, now since I'm doing this type of live, right, and I have millions of people listening to me or whatever, and I'm letting them know that you can overcome these horoscopes and whatever they say you is if you just focus on it, right? If I gave them that type of mentality and they actually, you know what I'm saying, start absorbing it and actually noticing and trying to fight it, right? Just like you said, you fought some of your stuff, right, to it and matured it to it. Do you believe that the statistic will change after that, right? Scientists will probably change it to something else, right?
It can change if you have enough numbers to embrace that. But guess
That's
what?
what I'm meaning.
But guess what? It never changes. It never changes statistics from the time that you started. That was the reality at that time. And we just like the census, right? A census comes through every city every 10 years. They got numbers and they base all behavior of that city, education, crime, off of those statistics. In the course of the next 10 years, those statistics can shift or change. They can go up or they can go down. But what never gets erased is the starting point in which we took that census. So all of these things we're talking about are what was recognized in that time. Can it change? Absolutely. But in order to validate that the change is significant enough to stake a new claim, you've got to show a drastic change in what's happening.
Right. So it's possible.
Absolutely. We can move statistics.
Okay.
I mean, at
Okay,
a
that's what
time,
I'm just trying to see.
statistically,
That's
there
all
was
I'm
a
trying to
time
see.
when BLK people was viewed as ignorant and couldn't read. Statistically, that's not a discussion we're talking about. But we couldn't. Over time, we shifted and pushed and pushed and pushed. Now those statistics are different. You can't identify a lack of reading simply with the skin color that we have.
Right.
But if we go back in time and look at history, was that a real
That was a
statistic?
fact. It was a
Absolutely.
fact. Right,
It was
exactly. And that's
right.
why I said
It
I
was
get you,
proven.
brother. So that means facts can change. That's what I mean. And so what you saying, you know, most definitely right, because that's how everybody was living and stuff, or that's how they feel, and that's how the personalities was. Of course, that's when they calculate this situations or whatever. But you know, I could get it on that end. But if I, you know what I'm saying, but if I think as people evolve and stuff, for the stuff, you know, even that's gonna probably change and stuff. Just like you can see
Yep.
how marriages is how that's changing now. You know, all
Yeah.
type of stuff is changing now, and the statistics gonna
Right.
continue to change.
Yep.
But
It's
homeboy, you was
always
trying to go.
evolving.
Lion, you there?
Yeah. So I was gonna say that's like the part that I disagree on with the accountability is because I feel like horoscopes, but like your astrology is supposed to be your first. I guess, like real version of introspection, right? You're seeing a list of traits and characteristics, and you're looking into yourself and seeing, do those fit, do they not? And then they kind of, once you become aware of something, you're then forced to take accountability for it. So if you see on this list, oh, I'm stubborn, and then you check yourself and say, oh, well, I am kind of stubborn, you are now in a position to fix that. So like, I don't really get the whole like not taking, because like that's, for me,
No,
that's what it's
because
for.
people don't
It's to
do it
be
that
able
way.
to look at it. And
Right.
I think most people do it that way,
No,
Kev.
they
I've
don't.
never
They blame
encountered
their
somebody
stuff
who's
just like
like,
what I
oh,
just
I'm
heard
not
from the.
kind, whatever, who gives it? I've never seen that. But again, that's one of those things that you
No,
think.
that's crazy. No, they literally say that. Oh, you know me, you know my sign. That's how I am.
Yeah. Some.
There's no way you saying they correcting it. They use that to make an excuse of their behaviors.
Yeah.
They do that.
Some people
Okay,
That's why
embrace.
you
you just
said.
say that
That's why
you
you
did
say
it.
you can't mess with certain signs or with local. She said I can't mess with because she know that they're going to be that type of person,
Right,
right?
but
So
that's
it's
No,
from
obvious
her
they
people is not
personal
being accountable for their
interaction as
actions.
well.
they
Like, that's
were.
not
They
just from
presented
a
those
zodiac
characteristics
sign.
that
That's her
was
personal interaction with those signs. Like, it's
right.
not just based on just the zodiac, it's her experience as well. So it's like, in the same way that there are plenty of dudes who wouldn't date a girl who works at McDonald's. There may be nothing wrong with that girl. That girl may be amazing, but you've already decided that like that's not something you want to deal with because 10 years ago you dated a girl from McDonald's and she slashed
Right.
your tires. Like
Right.
we have to take personal experience into account with these things because we are still just human beings trying to do our
Facts.
best
Right.
and trying to find where it is our happiness lies and how we can best achieve it. And I think that however you get to that can be helpful as long as you use it correctly.
Some people embrace that and crutch on that, Kev. Like for example, right, the poverty mentality is a classic example of that. Kev, are you a millionaire?
Nope.
Why not?
I ain't think about it.
Right. But if you ask the average person, right, they're gonna give you a list of attributes that keep them from being that. And
Mm-hmm.
when we look at people who have certain attributes or end up in certain positions, that is a commonality amongst them. Does that lock them in? Only if you embrace it. Look, I come from a family of hard workers out of a poverty situation, and they all have the same attributes. They think the same certain way. I intentionally said I'm breaking that.
Mm.
Why like this?
There you
I
go.
had to go back and dissect. That doesn't really make sense to the results I really want. And I had
Mm.
to abandon that stuff, but also keep the stuff that was worth keeping to move into a different realm. Some people embrace where they're at because it's all they feel they have to hold on to because they don't have this one thing that we call hope and faith to a certain
Yep.
level.
Exactly.
And when people embrace things like a horoscope and say, I'm stuck here, I'm like that because of this, that's because they have yet to embrace the opportunity to evolve and become better. And that's all they got to hold on to until somebody can present them with another opportunity or another. And the key is you got to present the opportunity, not challenge the mindset based on I don't agree with you. Most people change whenever you show them a reason to change versus telling them they need to change.
Mm-hmm.
What you an Aries? Y'all combative. You don't have to be that way. That ain't enough to make an Aries stop doing their negative traits. But if you
Nope.
recognize all of the traits that are positive and negative, and say, "Hey, I know you're being this way. You like conflict, but what has conflict really done for you? Has it elevated you? Has it fostered good relationships? Maybe you should think about
Exactly.
being non-combative. And if they embrace that, they're going to shift that whole temperament of who they
Mm.
were. But when you understand their attributes, it gives you a good starting place to help people change. When we ignore attributes, that's when we never evolve. That's why couples fall apart because they don't recognize who you are versus who I am and where we're trying to go.
Hey, you know what? And that's another reason why the second part, what I put the entitlement, right? Or entitled, right? Because usually majority do that where they feel like the world got to fit them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's stuff they don't
Right.
want to change within themselves because this said I'm that way, so I'm going to stay. So you better fit my boat. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's how that is. That's where the entitlement come in, and or they expect another person to, be this or whatever. Even though, like my thing is, if that's what I say, if it was perfectly how they say it is, right? I'm not trying to go against whatever, but I'm just saying everybody. That means that you should be able to find your perfect match no matter what. You shouldn't even be on here with no hurt feelings or nothing because you don't found the match that's supposed to match you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or, or if you just don't, if your sign made for no matches, right? You still can't get mad because your sign told you that you not girlfriend, boyfriend material. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta live with it. You know what I'm saying? So why get
Right.
mad on either end if these things are so accurate? You know what I'm saying? So
That's why I said earlier, I said, based off of my interactions with a lot, and I would add where I am now in life, I'm not really compatible with a lot. And I'm aware of that. And a lot of it is because of me. And so, like he was saying, I'm aware of a lot of things in me that I want to change so that way I fit in certain places. Like some men do not like aggressive talk. It's too much for them. Not that I'm looking or anything, but I've heard some women and men appear in their conversations and the women are very aggressive and whatever, regardless of the sign. But just being able to say, okay, like I said, mine goes it goes beyond just being an Aries. And so when I found out about the Virgo and the Scorpio, I said, oh, okay, that explains my emotional roller coaster I got going on through me. So how do I tap into these? And not to get like weird with it, but it's like, okay, what are the good attributes that I can pull out of this? And so I don't know, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to the whole relationship thing, I think like she said, I've never really heard people in general have negative stuff. If I'm shouting out Aries, it's because it's birthday month, turn up. Like I'm gonna shout out to all my Aries because we
right.
like them. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
sure any shout out there. So I don't know if you've been around, sorry you've been around negative Nancy's when they come to this, because I would like you to see it in a more of an embracing way. And even if you don't rock into it that deep, you know what I'm saying, if that's not your thing, it's totally cool. I just, I wouldn't think of it in a negative way that people are using it in such a negative way. I would hope not. So I would hope education would teach people just to learn themselves, like
I
learn
learned
who
a lot
you
about
are.
myself and I didn't even look into anything.
And that's
It's just
good,
about
but
learning from my own mistakes. That's all it is. That's all it really takes a lot. But I,
absolutely real life stuff. You
yeah,
just you
so
still have those characteristics that you may not know, but somebody else may notice, and they're like, I like him because all of the good things that a Virgo possesses. Like you may not know those specifics that somebody's broken down, but I see it. Oh yeah, baby, Kev, you an Aries gang gang. See, you know what I'm saying? Good peoples. So I'm a shush. Let him talk.
that's what we,
I'm
I be
about to
feel like we
actually
do
hop
that with
down
the
for you because
Bloods and the Crips
I
situation.
gotta
We
put my
separate.
I mean, I'm saying it in a positive way, but
We,
I gotta plug in my phone real quick to the charge. I sound like an old person. So I'm gonna hop
or that
down
must
real
be
quick.
your sign that made you not turn. It's like, bro,
Said what? That made me not
them,
yes,
them
listen, let me
Aries.
tell
Oh
you, I
my,
can
they
tell
can't
you some
plug up
let me
phones. That's
tell
what's
you,
saying.
I can tell you more. Let me say I can tell you more about me than anybody can tell me about myself. And it's all right. Like I'm aware of things. Like if I'm gonna be trying to tell myself, look, girl, I know I'm a little cuckoo sometimes, but it's all right, it's cool. Still love you. But I'm about to hop down though.
All right, for sure, for sure, for sure. To constructive criticism and know your worth is key, most definitely. That's what I say, man. That's all it is, man.
Yeah. Knowing your worth is founded off of knowing self. And we're a complicated being, man. I experienced it. We got who we're born to, who we are as a person. That's a complicated conversation. And when you spend, Kev, you said the key though, bro. I gotta come in on that. When you spend time with self, that's when it clicks, and you learn to separate the wheat from the tare in your own life, and because you will never have a viable, consistent relationship with others if you don't know self. You can't convince me you're gonna get to know me when you don't know yourself. So that's a deep dive, and that process is a little different for everybody. Some people may use other tools, let's call it that for the sake of conversation, to figure out who they are. And then
I got
some
a
people,
question.
yeah, what's up?
So I'm gonna ask this question. I think Lion was in here too. Cosmo has said, so what order you gonna put this in real quick? Because I feel like you gonna say the same thing I said, just because of what you said. So that question that I was Cosmo was in here. He said, say you got to put these four in order, right? So we got the world, we got God, we got our neighbor, and we got self. Which one should we love in order from first to least?
Which one we should love? Now, this is going to be controversial. I'm going to say this and I'm going to explain it. But I want to see the response, the negative response when I say this. The order's first is self. Second is neighbor. Third is world. And the last is God. Now, that sounds strange to you. Now, let me pull the biblical text for you. They were asked, how can you say you hate man and love God whom you not seen? He says, because as a natural human attribute, right, you're going to have to grow in your understanding of how to love before you get to the thing that you came and see. Once you get to the top, you love all that's beneath it and have an appreciation. Then you shift that order back to God first. You ask somebody, I need you to love and believe in something you can't see nor prove, only because somebody told you to, is a false sense of love.
I get you. I get you to a certain. You did give me another point of view. I get you on that because I was thinking kind of like that. I know we supposed to love God first. I think once you, okay, I get you though. But only
Right,
you can find that with it. So you will say, wait, say that order again. I might actually agree with that then.
Self.
Because I was saying the same thing. Me and Xander were saying the same thing.
Right.
I said God, self, neighbor, then world. That's what I said.
Right.
But that makes more sense because it's more genuine when you actually
That's
know
the
what.
point, Kev. That's
Yeah,
my
I get
point.
you though.
Like,
So say the order again. I want to hear what you said.
I gotta love me, then my neighbor, then the world, then God. Once I reach the love of God, it covers everything, and I have the highest appreciation for God then. Because this is an order of experience and substantiated evidence, right? I better know me. Because if I don't know me and love me, how am I going to love you right? If I treat me wrong, I'm going to treat you wrong. So the next closest thing to me is a neighbor. Now, when they use the word neighbor in the biblical text, they're talking about families, those closest to your community, right? The people closest to your family and community. So I have to learn to love them because there's conflict in learning and evolving. Then I can expand to the world, which is the unknown place, but we occupy the same space. Then the recognition that something greater than all of us created this. Who is that? That's God. And appreciation for that. Once I reach the love of God, then I can appreciate everything he created.
So
that's a growth process.
World, I think you probably want to put that last because I think how Cosmo described it, he was just talking about like materialistic things and all that stuff or whatever.
That's surface. We ain't talking about surface.
Yeah, so that's gonna be last. That's gonna be last though, because I don't want you thinking that the world is like. Because I thought the world was the world. He was talking about too, like everything considered the world. Anything, you know what I'm saying? Anything that's
neighbor is relative reach. Right now, you online and there's somebody across the planet that you'll never meet.
Yeah,
that's world for me. I'm not talking about the objects of the planet.
That's what he was talking about. I was just saying Cosmo was saying that one though. That's what
we're talking about community. We're talking about relationship and community.
Okay, I get you on that. Yeah. If you
don't you have to have the love of God in order to love your neighbor?
Where that come from?
I feel you on that too, right? Because God is love.
Where that come from? Okay, a baby. Does a newborn baby love God?
I think you. Okay, this will. Okay, before it go too far, right? I think I see what's about to happen. So one of them we talking about expression and what's born, and one of them is like a natural thing. I do believe we all born with love in us, right? Yeah, but the way we express love is different. So so what he talking about? What he said? But God, we wouldn't be, we wouldn't know what love without God, right? So we born with love. I believe we are born with love, right? But the express love, that's what King talking about.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So y'all both right.
Yeah, we're right. So that's why I wouldn't even. That's why I'm saying, should we have the love of God, first? You know what I mean? So God, self, neighbor, and then the world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but everybody has their preference. Everybody has their.
I guess both of them can be right. That's weird. I mean, depending on what you say, I do.
We say the same thing,
about it, I'm trying to pick a side, but it sounded.
No, we're coming from different angles, right? So it's like putting the chicken before the egg, right? I look at it like this: a baby's born. Does a baby know who God is? It doesn't, right?
But God knows who his baby is, though.
Okay, but hold on. You see, you jumping to the end game already. A baby itself don't know God. We know where the source comes from. That's inevitable. It's from God. But when we talk about who you should love, a baby, love pattern is first, it's going to take care and preserve self. That's why
No,
baby
I
pulls
think
on the mother.
no. We said it different. I think the baby is like world because I think he started loving that bottle first. You know what I'm saying? It's
Who giving it back, man? You got strangers feeding your baby? Your mama feeds you.
yeah, I know, but I don't
So
think
it's gonna love the
I
neighbor.
don't.
The neighbor, remember, is the one closest to it.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, man, this joint getting
And
deep.
all
I didn't think it was
I
gonna go
agree.
like
I
that. Y'all
agree.
got
But
me
the
thinking in
baby,
100 different ways. I
Well,
guess.
you know
I
what?
agree.
It's subjective the way that you think about it because the thing about it is, if it wasn't for God, babies wouldn't be here. That's my listen, and that's my interpretation. Now you don't
right.
have to
That's a
believe
circle
that,
of life.
but
No, no,
right, but
I
right,
agree.
but that's a that that baby being here. That's a decision up to the man upstairs, and I truly believe that. Um, After my experience in my life has come to make me believe that God comes first in my life.
Mhm.
I'm an open heart patient. I'm HIV positive. Um, listen, I'm a recovering drug addict. You know what I'm saying? And I've been through a lot of things that should have taken me out or that could have taken me out. But because of the experience and the prayer and the faith that I have, I'm still here. So that's my belief that God comes first. And in him taking care of me, I take care of myself to honor him for what he has done for me. And that love that I have for myself emanates to my neighbors.
Mhm.
And and hopefully the neighbors between me and my neighbors, it can emanate to the world. And that's just how I look at it.
Yeah. So you know what? Because that's because I was literally saying that, right? But if we talk about what's more genuine, right? What King's saying is legit for real. Like you literally gotta have a love for everybody before to be able to actually genuinely love God. That means you don't focus because we talking about like on earth, right? This on earth just be
But,
able to express love, right? To where you
but you're talking
because if you loving
perfection.
God first, right, you just doing it because you getting told to, right? That's the
Right,
Not,
But
right.
difference.
no,
That's
not necessarily.
I don't agree with that.
You
You're
and
feel
talking
it.
perfect.
It's a
You're talking
feeling that you
perfection.
have to love God, regardless if
You,
somebody told you. Everybody has their. When you get a certain age, you're like, oh, there ain't no God, but you know it's in you. You know
right.
this is
It's the
it's deep
source.
inside of you.
Yeah,
There's a
it's just
source in you that burns that you love God.
yeah,
Okay, so then here go your neighbor. You ain't gonna love everybody,
I do.
exactly.
but you're gonna
I
love
do.
God
Exactly.
unconditionally, whether
You
he
can
do
you can't
something for you or not. But you're not gonna love every single person that comes on this app. You ain't gonna like everybody. You ain't gonna say, "Hey, man." You ain't gonna go around and say, "Hey, man, I love you."
I do.
But when you have God's love, you can love everybody.
Right.
Yeah, I
And
feel you on that.
everybody that says that they came into that, right? We wasn't always at that place. So
But
we all agreeing. It's just a perspective, right? Like
Yeah,
Kev
yeah,
gets what I'm
everybody
saying.
has their own
You
right,
when you talk
interpretation of
right.
about
love.
how it happens organically and authentically, is that
Right.
you're gonna always go from self-love, which is preservation, and it was debatable in this topic is what's the definition of love, but let's not get too far off track. And
mm-hmm.
then the person closest to you, and then appreciation for the entire world that you're in, right? Because that's what
Hmm.
unconditional love is. I'm gonna love everyone equally and fairly and just, and then the
Hmm.
appreciation for God. But then guess what the thing is? It cycles back. God has
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
always been the source. It comes back
It always
when you
been
love
right.
God. You burn appreciate what's close to it. The thing closest to it expands into the world and right back to God again. It's the art of reciprocity in the spiritual realm that happens, but when we quantify it into the authentic process, I always go back to this. If you go up to a 2-year-old and ask them who's God, they have no clue. Are they
Mm-hmm.
influenced by God? Absolutely. But
Yeah.
the order of progress for developing love properly, they have to go through self
Mm-hmm.
love, neighbor love, world love, and then just love God because you created all this to begin with. And then they
Yeah.
cycle it back
So
again.
and what he talking about though is actually understand. The reason why I'm saying this, right? And just like you said, you can't love it. And I just had a little, I ain't gonna say a debate with my boy. It was Cosmo. He was saying that too. Same thing about. So my thing is, this what happened with me, right? Because it's kind of that's what's. when I made a little change within my life, which I'm saying I'm thankful that God, you know what I'm saying, gave me the mentality that I understand him and love him even more because of me understanding love, you know, little bit more about love and stuff. Because like I get exactly what he talking about. Because like I said the first thing that Xander said. I said exactly that. That's how I felt it should be. But if now that he broke it down and saying like genuine and actually understanding, because everybody got their own levels of love and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So the more it did start off with me first, and once I actually started, you know, learning what love is. I'm talking about understanding, right, and seeing how love is and treating. So I actually started loving my neighbors, and just because it come with understanding. To really understand what love is, you gotta understand first. Anyways, you just don't just love and don't know what you're expressing. Like you gotta really understand why you should love. It's about appreciating the littlest things. You know what I'm saying? That's what real love kind of is, and that's what I've been as I've been having time to myself and figuring that out. I start realizing how powerful or how basically understand love more. So that's what it makes me have a more love for everybody for real. That's what I be. That's why I tell people because I understand that
Right.
everybody got their own mentality. They got their own way of thinking. Everybody express they no matter how evil we think they are, we don't know what they're going through. We never put ourselves in other people's shoes or none of that stuff. Like we just don't know. We could have been one of them people. That's all I'm saying. That's the reason why I have a love for everybody. Because I could have been one of them. I could have been the person that went boom or something just because his religion told him to, right? I could have been the person, one of the people that's just evil and going out because I done lost my father and taking everybody. You know what I'm saying? I could have been any of them, right? So that's why I said,
Right.
like, that's why we should love everybody. And that's even like if we was to go scripture, right? It tell us to love everybody.
Yeah.
Love, but what love the neighbor, you know what I'm saying? Because but without God, it wouldn't be love, right?
Right.
So that's
That's the
why
source.
I'm saying that while both of
But
y'all
see,
is right though. But I'm just saying truly understanding love because we got people that's actually out here with the love language stuff, right? They feel like they can only love one or two ways, right? And not telling them love, you can love all five of the ways, right? If you really understand love and realize it and appreciate the little stuff, you can love all five of them ways. It ain't no just one way.
But if you love, but if you truly, genuinely love, you do love everybody. You do love
Exactly.
everybody.
Yep.
You do love everybody. Now, you might not like what everybody does and how
Exactly. The
everybody
behaviors.
lives.
Right.
Yep.
Right. But you do
Facts.
love them as human
Exactly.
beings. You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying? And I think I try to live my life that way. I'm not perfect about it, but I do try to give the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? There are people who are in my personal circle who I know I love, I have a different level of love for them. But for the most part, the people in the world, I have a genuine love for them. If somebody I something life giving, I would definitely help them. You know what I'm saying? And it would make a
Hmm.
difference who it is. And it would make a difference who it is. You know?
Right.
And I believe that's what God would want me to do because that's the gift of life that He has given me. You know?
Exactly.
mm-hmm.
So
There you
I
go.
mean, that's just the way I look at it. I think we're all like, just like this conversation, I think it's meant for somebody to get something out of it. You know
Right.
what
Yep.
I'm saying? Just
Different
like these lives.
perspectives. Absolutely.
Yes, and the one thing that you have to come into these lives with is an open mind to
Of course,
understand and
of
respect
course.
whether you agree or not, everybody's
Yeah,
Hmm.
opinion,
yeah.
you
It's
know?
okay. It's
So
agree to
so I
this.
and I think and I think God gives us that through our experiences of where we went wrong, and hopefully learning from that process to where we're making new mistakes, not repeating the same old mistakes over and over.
Hmm.
I like that.
So yeah,
Xander, hey, I just want to chime in. Xander, look, I really respect and appreciate your transparency tonight, brother.
yeah,
Sharing who you came out the box, sharing who you are
Hmm.
as a person, and that's a rarity in society.
Hmm.
And Kev, I want to commend you because it's obvious you created a safe space where people feel like they can come in here, speak their truth, and share themselves. So I just want to, if I never told you, I want to give you a flower. Say, look, dude, you always present a topic there like, what the hell, Kev talking about? But the dialogues
Hmm.
that happen in it gives
Oh
opportunity for
yeah.
growth for everybody. And
Oh yeah.
it's respectful dialogue. That's why you know me. I don't hang in a room if it ain't respectful dialogue because you know how I get down to my room. The minute you get disrespectful, moderator boot them out. I ain't got no time for that shit.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
what
look,
you've done
y'all
is you
should,
painted
cause
that.
like I said, I just found them. I don't know Gigi, I don't know she in, but yeah, add baby.
So,
I can't what's his name.
I was
Add
about to
Kevin,
say,
add
don't
Kevin
worry,
and
I'm about to
Xander.
change it.
Add them. They
I'm about
really
to change
good though. They
Yeah,
some
I
good
got it.
peoples though for sure, man. Cause you know it's gonna be another lady named Gigi. You can add her to all them real good though. They open minded and all that situation
Yeah.
though. So
But you have to.
oh, and
You come
really
on
add
this
T
app.
Chanel, the
You,
comedian up in it. Why?
you
And
have
she
to be
found me.
open
She
minded
found
to
me through
everybody's
a
opinion.
video.
Mm.
I'm bad.
You got to be transparent. You got to be transparent if you want to grow. That's
Got
it.
to.
That's the only way you can
Right.
grow. You've got to be transparent. It's not to see my thing is like this. I'm a recovering drug addict, like I say. All of a sudden now, I mean, I didn't have no shame when I was out there 4 o'clock in the morning ripping and running for crack. Now all of a sudden I get clean and I'm ashamed of this and I'm ashamed of that. No, no. My life, listen,
Right.
I'm a different person. If you can't see that, that's your fault. But I know inside me I'm a different person. So,
Right.
Yep.
and I take pride in that. You know what I'm saying? And
I
I have
tell
no
people
problem.
not to regret your past, man. Everything happened for a
Yeah.
reason
Yeah,
that
you
built you to
can't.
the character
Man,
You
you is
can't.
today.
You
You
can't.
know what I'm
You
saying?
did
it's
it.
what makes you
You did it. Accept it. Accept it
Exactly. That's all you can do.
and move on
uh
and know that you do not have to be your past. You do not have to be.
Exactly.
We always
right.
have the ability to change. We have the ability to change.
Yep.
Yes,
And I
yes.
think
All it's going to be fix your future.
that's one of the greatest gifts God gave us.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
ability to change.
Man, I tell you what though, the diversity that happens in these rooms is phenomenal. For those that don't know me, I have my stances. I'm very strong in what I say, but some of y'all probably figured out already. I was once a pastor, so I understand the biblical text, the Greek text. Oh, I hit it from every angle because I challenging things to open up my because I'm very open. That's what allows me to get to what we call love of everybody and God, agape love, however you want to say it.
Yep.
I had to learn to become that
Hmm.
person because I've lived in all those worlds.
Hey, King.
So now I can't judge nobody any longer.
Exactly.
I have to be open
All right.
and receptive to different perspectives, different opinions, why they see it this way, how could they see it another way, and be patient enough to allow them to evolve into who they're supposed to be. And all I can hope at best is to be a positive influence in their conversations.
Hey, King. I rock
Yes,
with
sir.
you. You are very
I
long
do
winded.
too.
I knew you was a pastor of some sort.
hey,
Hey,
tell,
hey,
tell the
hey,
You,
truth,
and when
shame
I
the
say
devil.
he was spitting long-winded facts, you need to
he
have a
was.
church,
He was.
Tell the
sir. You
truth,
need to
shame
have
And,
a
the
church.
devil. That's the
I did
truth.
that already.
and to be honest with you, brother,
Hey, look, hey, look.
you make very good sense of what you were saying. You know what I'm saying? Even though, I had a kind of like, wait, whoa, whoa. But then when you broke it down, you made a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you. I followed you.
No, no, hold
And
on,
I
no,
would
no.
Thank you, brother.
definitely,
Can,
whenever you go live,
hey, look, everybody.
I would definitely
Y'all
want
better
I
start.
definitely
I
want
Can
to
mean,
I,
hear
the
more.
can I
celebrity
say
is
this? Look,
following.
I
She has
got to
granted
say,
this
look,
stuff.
y'all, look. I'm finna follow everybody, but I can't. Look, it was two people that were talking. It was the first guy that said that he's a recovering addict and he wasn't ashamed when he was out at 4 a.m. and then he wanted to be ashamed when say like you know he's not gonna let people let him make him ashamed anymore. Then the other long-winded guy. I got to talk to both of y'all. But look, baby, let me tell you something. Oh, y'all don't even know. I'm finna look when somebody say. Let me tell you something. When a black woman say, "Let me tell you something," it's finna get serious. So look,
I'm about to go on mute because I know how long winded this is
I done
gonna be.
smoke crack.
Oh Lord. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. I'm finna go in. I'm finna have words. My cheeks finna hurt. I'm finna poke the head with a towel. But all right, so look, I done smoked crack. I done shot meth. I done shot heroin. I done sold my body. I done walked out of Walmart with 65-inch TVs. I done a whole lot of stuff that I didn't want to do. I done been in places that I should have never been in. And all the things that people make me thought
Mm.
that I should have been ashamed of, I wasn't. You know what made me stop smoking crack? The fact that I lost my ass. It looked like somebody hit me in the ass with a bag of bricks, and I
Lord
was
have
tired of
mercy.
not having no ass. All that stuff that people makes think that you're supposed to feel bad about. no, look, I still got crackhead tendencies. I still got the crackhead hustle. I like that about myself. I am not ashamed anymore of who I used to be because it made me who I am.
Yes.
And this person has
Mm-hmm.
had over 500,000 followers on TikTok. I'm fun as hell. I'm a good person. I got a good heart. I look at people. I am an empath. I am empathetic. I care about people I ain't got no business caring about. That probably
Yeah.
shouldn't have for us. They think it's second chance, but I'm gonna give it to them because I know I can't deny. At the end of the day, we are who we are. Everything about us, never be ashamed about it. Never be, well, no, I ain't gonna lie. Be ashamed about it.
Exactly.
I done some trifling stuff. I ain't gonna lie. It was a few men out there when I was working in them streets. They had that duck butter up under the
Oh
hood.
yeah.
And they, never mind. We
Oh
ain't
yeah.
talking. Anyway, yeah, we ain't go there because this is on. There's some things that I did that I'm ashamed of, and I got to live with that now. And I realized that I will never encounter duck butter ever again because I learned from my lesson.
Not duck butter. Not the duck
Not
butter.
duck butter.
And know what
No.
You glitching,
duck butter is? I is today. Yeah, you ever dug in your belly?
Yeah.
You know, them uncircumcised men be having the duck butter under there. What I'm talking about. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Oh
Yeah. I
Lord,
know what you're
have
talking about.
mercy.
I already knew what
Oh,
you were
come
talking
on now.
about. That's why I stopped talking. Because I already knew what you
I
were
ain't
talking
Jesus help her. Jesus help her.
about. Yeah.
Not the duck butter.
Yeah.
Well, I
Y'all
ain't got
can
to
pray
worry
for
about
me because that
uncircumcision.
duck butter. You know what that duck. Y'all know what duck.
Mm-mm.
Everybody know what it is. Everybody don't want to talk about it,
Yeah.
but everybody know
I
what the
don't
hell I'm
think I
talking
want
about,
to
don't you?
know. I'm good.
Yeah, you good.
No,
Yeah.
whatever. If you don't know, baby, then bless your heart. You were raised right,
Thank
and
I
you.
you ain't
definitely
never
know what
been
it is.
nowhere
I,
trifling.
I know what duck butter is.
I don't
Exactly.
want to
Even
know.
if you smelt it on a baby, you done smelt duck butter in a baby neck. You ever go
Yeah.
to kiss a baby? They got them fat rolls. Their mama ain't clean them good. That's that duck butter.
Lord have
Hmm.
mercy.
Yeah.
No. I
Okay. Hey, look. I'm
just
on my
call that
Is
second
that
Coke
when the
nasty.
45,
milk be in
and
their
I'm gonna
neck?
get banned if I stay on here.
I
I'm
just call it
gone. I'm
nasty.
gone.
All right.
Yeah, it is nasty. But no, sometimes you just
I
miss a
just call
spot.
it
Sometimes,
nasty.
because I didn't know I had a fat baby. And, you crevices I wasn't in. And that's how I learned about duck butter the first time. And the second time
Mm.
it was when I was in the street. And I didn't want to learn about that. Well, anyway, like I said, I'm gone. Bye bye.
All right. See you
All
later.
right.
Be safe out there.
Thanks for coming again, man. Man.
Ain't said
Y'all hope
tell.
y'all following
I
her, man.
appreciate it. Bye bye.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did follow. I followed her. Yes.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
tell y'all.
Oh, she's
But
gone.
King man, yeah, King man, I knew what you were before you even said it. You're winded, your biblical sense, and your philosophy of how you say things. Your wording is impeccable. You know what I mean? You make sense of everything that you say. You say it, but you also break it to feel like you feel, and I know you feel like it went over a lot of people's head, but when you broke it back down, it made a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Thank you.
And I
Appreciate
think,
it.
and you know what I mean? Because at first I was like, wait a minute, where's it going? Then you was like, okay, I'm gonna break it down. I was like,
Right.
okay,
I was
he
worried
used to
too.
be a pastor, you know what I'm saying? And just to be
Like,
real
no,
with
you the
you, you know what I'm
devil. It's
saying?
like, no.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm over
We
here
get my
about to
Christian
nod
side
off.
going
I'm
on.
over here nodding off. I'm like, okay, is he gonna break it down sooner or later? He's been, and I just said in my mind, listen to you speak. You know what I mean? I knew you was a pastor. I didn't know what type of pastor, but I knew you was a preacher, some shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
I
but the even
I
bigger thing. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
he the
I
sorry. Go
man,
ahead.
dog. He be doing
I like
business
to I
stuff.
like to shake up. This is I like Kev's live because I only go on live to people I respect because in my live I talks about none of this.
Mm.
I have a live specifically we talk about business all day long, straight business, helping people get their business set up. I'm branding marketing specialist, but I love this because it's an opportunity to share other perspective, the other side of me, with people. So like Kev's live is a safe space, Kanai's live is a safe space for me. And the fun thing about it all, they all can hear me talking. It says I can tell this dude was a pastor. He's either a
Yeah,
pastor or he used to be a pastor.
Hmm.
Um, and that comes from back to the topic, my love for people. I'm a teacher at heart. I always want people to understand what they're getting into, because I feel like sometimes we just never had people just break it down for us. They
Right.
shove their theologies or philosophies in our minds, and we get stuck with that. And then when it don't work, we're confused. So I think if I'm going to say anything, let me break it down so that a baby could understand that,
Right.
or a young person could understand that. And then when they oppose it, they're coming from an educated place, and I can respect that. But if I just throw stuff at and you fight, we just fight for a reason. I'm going to debate for purpose. I want one of us to grow. Hopefully,
Right.
both of us.
Right.
Hey,
See, we,
what was I about to say?
uh-oh.
I forgot what I was about to. Hold on, I'm trying to type because she making me laugh.
And when you, so you said you do the financial part of what, teaching people how to finance, start a
Now,
business,
I
all the
have.
above.
I'm part of a team of people. My specialty is branding, marketing, and organizational development. My counterpart, Dwayne Williams, he's about the business structure. He helps you set your business up the right way. He handles taxes, how to do all the internal stuff as far as day-to-day finances of a business. And then we got Jay Gode, he's the funding guy. He knows how to make sure you got all your ducks in order before you even go to the bank and get the client. So we work as a collaborative team to educate people. So we get on live and we're risque. I'm risque. Let me not say they. I'm always gonna push the envelope to get people's mindset centered a certain place. But I stay in
Hmm.
my lane. I have a general business knowledge that helps people, but I'm gonna always default to the expert to get you in-depth knowledge. My thing is you start talking about branding, marketing, and leadership and organizational development. That's my wheelhouse, and that's why I spend most of my energy talking.
Oh, let me hit them up before. So y'all really gonna be friends now, right?
Oh yeah.
They King,
Yeah.
they drink. They drink on the week. Oh, they actually do it a week now. But they get the wine and they're not robots either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's it.
Remember we found out we wasn't robots that one day, me, you, and Hormiga? That was
Oh,
fun.
bruh.
I'm like, well, we get to see the other side, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I like being real with people. Like, look, I ain't no
Yeah.
alcohol. I get my lip around.
Get let set.
Hey, listen, you know the biblical
Yeah.
term.
Well,
It ain't what
I'm
goes
in
in, it's what
recovery.
comes out.
I don't do none of that.
Wow.
I'm
Hey,
in
there's nothing wrong with drinking.
right. I'm in recovery. I don't
Yeah.
do none of that. But I don't knock people who do it, and I will. That's I tell you, growing into the man, emerging into the man that I really want to be is such an it's an enjoyable ride for me. You know what I'm saying? You said, King, that life is complicated. Life is not complicated. We complicate it
Yeah.
by doing some of the things that we know we shouldn't be doing.
Hmm.
And dealing with people that we have in the back of our minds some idea that we know we need to stay away from, but we don't. That goes for relationships, friendships, different things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning who I am, and I'm learning where I want to go, and I'm learning what I want to do and who I want to be. And that there is so much joy in this journey. There really is, really is, really is.
Actually, you just made me think about it. That might be because I got a topic, something like that though, and I've been wanting to do this topic a long time ago though. It's go, and I might do it tomorrow. Actually, I might just do it tomorrow. The topic is, uh, life isn't just built tough. It's just we not built tough enough for it. That's what the topic gonna be.
Hmm.
So I know a lot of people be saying, "Oh, life's so tough. The world is so tough." Or no, let's just say the world is tough. And it's just we not built tough enough for it. That's what it be. Or a lot of people
I
just ain't.
well, but I think there's another piece that you in there that you need to add in there. It's not that we're not built tough enough for it. How tough do we make it for ourselves?
Man, look,
Oh, that could be good. Okay.
Xander just broke down a quote I use all the time. I've been using it for many, many years.
Let me go ahead and
Life
write
is
that
not,
down. He's good.
life is not difficult.
Exactly. That's the whole point. That's the whole point.
Yeah, yeah. The choices that we make in our, and the thing about it is, you know what? We are such arrogant, and I'm gonna use the word arrogant. Or no, maybe I won't even use the word arrogant. We are such egotistical people that we don't want to take advice. We
I
don't want
told
to
you.
listen.
Stubborn.
We
Yeah.
don't want to we listen. We've got somebody who went through the same thing we're going through, and they're telling us how to get out of it or to avoid it, and yet we still go right into the headstorm head
Xander,
first.
can you come talk to some of my business clients and repeat that to them?
No, I want to add the other part. This dude, he is good, man. Y'all told me about him, man. What's the second part? I want to add that on. I'm putting it in my notes right now.
Oh, the second part is um how hard do we make life?
Okay.
Life, how hard do we make life on ourselves? You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Okay, there
and
we go. I
that
like
has
that.
to go, with
Mindset.
the choices that we make for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm telling you. And I mean, I know some good brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? They're good people and have fallen on hard times because they didn't want to listen, because they
Mhm.
didn't want to take a suggestion. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
they say
Right.
the only suggestion you pay for is the one you don't take.
That's it.
So
Yep.
yeah, so
So I
and I
got
but
one
I
more
had to learn
person. I
that
gotta
about my
call it. I went past my
go
hours.
ahead.
Y'all want
Yeah.
to get juicy
That's
near
my
the end of the night? I'm sick.
yeah, but you know what? I'm getting ready to get out of here.
Oh
I
yeah.
had a great time. I
Oh yeah, for
appreciate
sure, man.
Kevin,
Peace,
you
bros.
peace, you family, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
King, it was great meeting you. I hope to see you again.
Absolutely.
When, when you go live, I'll stop on in there, see what's going on. Everybody else, I appreciate you. Love y'all.
Oh yeah,
Had a
for
good
sure, man.
time.
Peace,
Thanks.
bro.
Likewise.
Thanks.
Have a good one. Nice meeting you, Xander.
All right.
Peace, Brody.
Avatar, what's the deal, man?
Peace, man. How you feeling, bro?
You said
How you
what?
feeling, bro? You can hear me? So how you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. I had a highly productive day, man. I'm about to not. I'm great spirits, bro. Great spirits, man. See
Mm.
y'all brothers building.
Why does your voice sound familiar, though? You is you? Hold up. You that? I'm gonna think of your name. Hold up. You 7, ain't you?
Yes, sir.
I'm about to say, I know this dude's voice. He just gonna change
Yeah,
his
bro.
name again. I'm like, why is we mutuals and I just can't see?
Yeah,
Yeah, 7
that's
actually
me,
True.
good though.
bro.
I seen him in another live before, and then when he came in my live, I actually noticed him more. That's why I added. I'm like, I remember this dude who be spitting though.
Yeah, that's my guy. What's up, bro? What's up with
Man,
you, bro? You well?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. About to call it a night though, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and get a pre-session or whatever you want to get in real
Yeah,
quick, man. I'm glad you
yeah,
stopped
yeah,
by
man.
though.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I definitely, bro. With this subject matter, I know y'all was building, y'all was climbing the ladder with it. So, I mean, ultimately, I look at, this horoscope situation is like it's like fear based. It comes from a place of winging it, not knowing how to, build healthy relationships, prosperous relationships that invite abundance, right? And it's based off, just being subjective in the sense of, like a person quick to judge. Like, in a society that's real judgmental, we selective morality, where we hyper sensitive about one subject matter, but in another sense, we're very fearful to delve into a subject matter because we don't really have the confidence as a whole, as a society. So horoscopes is just another it's just another element, another avenue to basically perpetuate and also show how fearful we are of really getting to know each other, digging deep, embracing the
Mm.
shadow, so we can be successful in any endeavor, like business, like in relationships, and even spiritually, right? All being one and the same. So we stick to horoscopes. Oh, I don't like you because you this. You don't know my
Mm.
story, man. And if they switched it up today and they had a post say that, man, all the horoscopes they all backwards, and then if your month was before, now you that one, people would go with that and say, I knew it the whole time, because because the root of it is that you can't really pinpoint it, which definitely takes the full effect of lacking accountability, right? because it's no mark or reference. Like if you say you are religious, you Muslim or Christian, you have laws you have to follow, and these are
Mm-hmm.
something that you can mark and say, well, I'm not following that law. I didn't give charity, right? So it's clear that you're going against some type of code you said you believe in.
Mm.
With
Right.
horoscopes is just talking about one's behavior and moods, which we know speaks to temper tantrums. It speaks to childish behavior, which lacks accountability as well. So I genuinely believe, bro, like you said, like this subject matter and this topic, how you set it up, was very powerful because ultimately we can all have the spirit of these animals symbolically, or these symbols symbolically, or but in truth, when you're doing $1 million business deal, you're not saying, oh, is that person Scorpio? Oh, I'm doing business. No, I don't even think about that. You want to know, is you cheating on your wife? Do you show up to work on time? Is you clear communication? Not if your birthday fall on the 1st or the 15th. The only first and the 15th we're worrying about is them goddamn bills. So, we not, when you get in the real world, people, they ain't even worrying about color to a certain degree. They worrying about that green. That's the only color. So, I think it's real, it's an infancy mentality, right? And, yeah, bro, I don't think you could have said it any better with the subject matter.
Yeah, bro. That he said, man, brother, thank you for saying what you just said. Emphasis mentality, right?
Brother, bro.
That ties right back into a lot of what we said in the beginning. That whatever you believe in is your starting point. If you remain at your starting point, you didn't grow.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
I don't care if it's religious beliefs. I don't care if it's horoscopes. I don't care if it's you graduated at Harvard. It is your starting point into life as it is determined to interact with people. If you got stuck there, because many people are stuck in their past or their initial learning, that's where your growth is limited, man.
Yep. Moth and butterfly come from the same cocoon.
And and here's the truth, right? I've learned this. Everybody, whether we agree with them or not, needs a starting point.
Yeah.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, all this stuff it was needed. You know what I'm saying? But it's just up for you to grow and use your own interpretations to, build
Right.
your own type of life after that, right?
But
But
but what
some
I
people get
can't,
stuck in it and rather
yeah,
rely on certain situations before they make the next decision and stuff, which will
right.
keep
Limiting
But
you in a
belief.
little chain. It'll keep you in the
what I
chain.
can't, what I can't
Limiting
do
belief.
in good conscience is condemn the starting point, because I think a lot of Kev, you strategic with your stuff. I don't blame religion. I don't blame horoscope. I don't blame government. I don't blame nothing for the outcome of where we at as a people.
Mm-hmm.
I blame our lack of you gonna like this, Kev, lack of accountability and
Hmm.
taking responsibility for the
Mm-hmm.
outcomes on us,
Right.
not on any particular religion. Look, Christianity, Buddhism, Muslim, it ain't the issue.
Right.
Communist, dictatorship,
Mm-hmm.
democratic government is not the issue.
Mm-hmm.
It is the
Right.
people's lack of accountability that's always been the issue.
That part.
There you
That
go.
part.
Always been the issue.
Hmm.
It
And
is
until
sad.
we accept that, we will never make the definitive changes necessary to grow as a whole. So,
That's it.
because that's the issue and that's the reality, I chose self-growth.
Mm.
I'm no longer going to give the power of who I am to anything or anyone else.
Mm.
I will embrace who I am, look at what works good for my commune with other people, and evolve and change the things that are necessary to have a fruitful and non-toxic relationship.
Mm.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's true.
That's perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah. That's a
Like,
good way to end the night right there.
That was perfect. That was like literally not just saying it. That was a perfect. And
Yeah.
they had to take King. Why couldn't it be me, man? I should have said so. I was like, I'm talking to you, but that's
Yeah.
a King for you, man. That's what I was saying. Y'all, this whole panel, man, y'all, everybody need to follow each other for real because everybody be spitting for real. Like this is crazy, though. We need more people that right and realize the importance of accountability. That's why I talk about it so much. Dang, that's just so fast. We gotta get rid of the end of the
Ah!
night. I'm sick. He already
You know,
got me early. That's cheating, He can't do it twice.
I
But
think,
that's
you know, And we
Accountability.
have just more
So he
more
gonna do
power.
me like, nah, you gonna do me like that? What out of all the stuff? Gonna make me
Gotta
like
give
a
you credit,
princess
man.
Yeah.
real quick. Good looks, man.
Oh shit, my fault. I thought you were the big
He
one.
mad I'm
Anyway,
throwing.
hey, anything
Hey,
beat the glizzy
I
because
ain't never.
somebody
Hey,
sent the glizzy yesterday. I
I
was so mad, bro.
Oh
man,
man, he
I
tripping.
ain't never been mad at a stripper that got mad because somebody threw money at him.
You right about that. That is funny, dog. Like,
I
dog.
don't care. Hey, I don't care if it's press or wrinkle. Kev, that cowboy head is that's between you and I.
Yeehaw! Right.
Peace, brother. I
Right.
appreciate y'all, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all night, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
All
All
For
right,
sure,
I gotta
bro.
drop out too, guys. Look, I appreciate
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah, y'all about to
Much
make me. I done
love.
stood up even longer, man. Dog,
yeah, man.
dang,
Stay
man.
up, man. With you and
Yeah, I knew you lied whenever you say I'm gonna be on here for about an hour. I say yeah, right.
Dog, all right, you know me by now, man. I'm about to be mad at my own self. Let me be accountable for that. That was my fault. I want
It's
to
not
blame
our
it on
fault,
my
it's your fault,
sign. My
Kev.
sign forced me to sign. Let me stop.
Yeah,
You know it's
because I'm a
Virgos. All you
Gemini.
gotta do.
That's why I stayed on longer. Get the hell out of here.
Right, exactly. I'm about to say that. My
Don't
Virgo, my
use
sign to
a.
say that we not doesn't
I
manage
look.
time right.
I'm about to say this and I'm getting up. I like the horoscopes, but don't let it be your scapegoat.
Right,
That's
There
all.
you
exactly.
go. There you go.
Exactly.
There you have it, man. But look, I'm following y'all, man. I'm gonna get ready to go to bed, bro.
Oh yeah, man.
So
I
I follow you
appreciate y'all,
already.
man. Powerful words for sure. That I didn't think this second section was gonna be like that. I just reset it and everything. Man, I appreciate y'all though for sure, man. I'll be on tomorrow. Y'all already know my topic and stuff. If y'all come through, y'all come through. It is what it is. I'll be on Saturday too. So you know.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, man.
You know, I got your support. You
Oh
already
yeah.
know.
Oh
You know.
yeah, man.
We'll holler at you tomorrow then, bro.
All right, man.
All right.